There must be like, you must be able to find words of him going,
That's the one.
this could end.
Yeah.
This shit is incredible tonight.
How do we let him get away with all this?
For years.
Honestly.
He's like a...
To be fair, that was legendary. Yeah, his little pull-up was legendary. This
could
And
terribly. Episode 41. Welcome back to This Could End Terribly. You have your hosts for the evening.
Yes.
Man like Abiade, me. Man like Johnny Vivaz.
Hello.
That's him. And we are saying a very warm welcome back to
Yes.
man like Josh Kaplan from the Jewish Chronicle. He's out here on these streets. He's outside.
Yes.
He missed us. You missed him. We made it happen. Welcome back, sir.
thank you. Happy
Back
to be here.
to the home of grime.
Amen.
How are you, gentlemen? Who wants to take on that question first?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I think realistically, anything we say is just going to get cut short by Johnny gassing about his holiday yet again. Because
Feels
last time I was
inevitable.
here, he was gassing about a different holiday. So Johnny,
Yeah.
do you want to just do it so we can get it done?
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Do we want to jump in?
It's the content that people have
straight
been
in?
waiting for.
So I guess the short answer to the question, how are you, is fantastic.
It's relaxed.
But you're going to go into why. But before you do that, shout out to our Spotify listeners,
Yes.
our Apple podcast listeners,
Yes.
our Amazon music listeners,
Yes.
our SoundCloud listeners,
Yes.
and our YouTube listeners.
Nasty people.
Something I didn't tell you.
Oh.
I did the stream count yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oh, go on.
Shout out all of our listeners, our parasocial relationships out there. You
Yes.
took us to 30,000 plus streams across all platforms.
Big up us.
Baby.
Thank
Doesn't
you very
sound like a
much.
lot. Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But we don't do any fucking promotion except what you see on an Instagram every other
Yes.
week. So the
all
word,
you.
of,
It's
so
word
the
of mouth.
word of mouth and all of that, you sending it around, getting
Thank
your
you.
people to follow, and all the people who send us love. You're helping us build something beautiful here
Amen to you.
with me and my friends.
Yes.
So love to you guys. Thought I'd get through with that before we allowed you to occupy the stage for hopefully not very long. Johnny has been on holiday.
Yes.
And if you've been following him, similar to his US trip, when was that again?
November.
November of last year. You take a lot of holidays. No, you take too many.
I haven't been away for 5 months.
No, okay.
Oh, 5 months.
That's a very insensitive thing to say during a cost of living crisis.
And a pandemic.
Oh my God.
I mean, Ryanair's cheap. It's not my problem.
Okay.
Ryanair
well.
flight to Brazil, do they?
Wasn't the point I was getting at. You can still go France if you wish. Like some man.
He did a bit, yeah. I mean, I was outside.
Try to fire shots at me.
Yeah, man. I was. I got to Wesley.
How was your holiday, Rich?
I got to Wesley
Well, you got to-
Snipes levels of darkness at one point.
Oh,
bruv.
you went
And
to-
it-
hold on.
and it felt beautiful.
You went to Nice, didn't you?
I did.
One of the most expensive parts of Europe.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, bruv. If you see
Very
some
primo ends.
Nah, it's not
right
true.
next to Cannes,
It's not true.
Saint-Tropez, them ends.
It's Monaco adjacent. is what
Yeah,
we
it's
would
Monaco
Côte
adjacent.
d'Azur.
It's Monaco adjacent.
Oh,
And we went to
trying to
Monaco.
fire shots.
We went to Monaco for a day.
Oh, you did?
Terrible.
In this,
say. I thought it was pretty dead. I went a couple
Terrible.
summers ago.
In a-
Horrible.
Yeah,
Just,
the whole vibe is like really leathery, old, fat French
Yes,
dudes.
yes.
Is and they're like Russian women of like inappropriate age.
yeah, I just feel like I'm a spectator at like an aquarium and there are just these expensive fish who are just getting on with their lives. And I'm like, that looks cool. I couldn't do that. Let me move on to a place that doesn't charge me £35 for a sandwich. You know what I mean?
And in this economy, you had disposable income to visit there.
Yeah, I've been saving. I've been saving.
All right,
and that's
good
going to
for
be
you.
my only holiday for the rest of this year, Johnny. I don't
Okay.
take one every 4 months.
We'll fact check that in a minute.
So, yeah. That little bit at the top of, when you go off the sort of F1 circuit,
Okay.
you go up.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Is
That's a
it-ish?
bit nice.
Nice-ish.
Yeah.
I've not been,
But
so I'm taking your word
Monaco
for
is
it.
dead. And Nice is not expensive. You go to like these really nice Italian-owned restaurants
I think
and
I
stuff.
caught one here. I think I've...
No, I'm just letting people know. It's a nice place to go. You should
No,
go
I mean,
to
I
Nice.
can vouch for that.
Very
I
nice.
found Nice very
Yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. You, however, spent a couple of weeks
Yes.
traveling through South America, which doesn't sound very cheap.
Through's a strong word.
I think anybody who saw you on Instagram as you documented the whole trip, might have seen you rock back in your chair to full flat back and then on a business class flight or something like that.
No, not me.
No, I think it was you.
That wasn't me.
I think it was you.
I flew. I flew premium economy, but definitely economy.
That's a
Certainly
shag, isn't it? Premium economy. What does that mean?
It's basically a slightly better seat than the proper peasants.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, having spent nearly 24 hours on 2 flights, it's definitely worth the £200 upgrade.
With no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi both ways.
Yeah, a lot of moaning about that. I did see a lot of moaning about that.
You saw 2 Instagram posts. You both need to relax.
I mean, how many flights did you take?
4 in total. But anyway, actually, there wasn't any Wi-Fi on all 4 flights. That's not the point.
How did you live?
I watched the entire season of Top Boy
What do you
back to
think?
front.
You watched it?
Never.
No.
Very good.
No interest?
No, I mean, I'm gonna get around to it.
Yeah,
It's
get
like The
around to
Wire. It's like The Sopranos. I'll
It's
do it
much better
eventually.
than The Wire. It's much better than The Wire.
I'm sorry?
It's better than The Wire.
I'm sorry?
It's better than The Wire.
Drake
didn't-
didn't executive
I-
produce it.
Oh, you say things that make me question our friendship.
I didn't grow up in Baltimore. I did grow up going to Ridley Road Market every Saturday.
So you can't watch the new season of Top Boy and think that that's fucking relatable, bro. They shot
mean-
half of it down the bloody canal around the corner from where I live right now.
Oh yeah, it's at Hackney Marshes where I kick ball.
Nobody is living like that around here.
Yeah, not anymore. Well,
Not
we
anymore.
used to.
Well, back in the day. Hackney
in the
Fox
day.
and them man, back
We're back.
in the day.
We're back.
But not anymore, Johnny.
No. It's nostalgic.
Johnny just said that Top Boy. Have you watched The Wire? Josh, man, fucking off your fucking. Can you watch something?
We're actually only allowed to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's
Yeah.
part of the bar mitzvah
Seinfeld
contract.
as well? Yeah. All of them, man. Yeah. You say bar mitzvah contract.
Yeah.
Very good.
Rich is uncomfortably outnumbered
No,
again.
no. I'm coming for you guys. Don't you worry. There's been some very Jew-heavy topics in the last couple of weeks.
Excellent.
that I want to get your opinion on.
Excellent. Brazil was very good. Very good.
Okay.
It's a beautiful country. I was immediately perplexed as to why people don't walk up escalators.
Okay.
And then I looked up and saw the view in front of me.
Ah.
I understand why people don't walk up escalators in Brazil.
You made it misogynistic.
I did. Well, you don't know what ass I was looking at. That's on you.
Yeah, that is true.
How dare you assume
You could be an equal opportunities pervert.
my
But
viewpoint?
you're still objectifying, so you do your thing.
Could be. It's a beautiful place. Carnival is the maddest experience of my life.
Okay. Thanks for that call.
Spiritual experience. Yes, I FaceTimed you. Got to give you a little view.
I was on my way to work.
Yeah.
7:30 in the morning.
Pretty depressing, that isn't it?
And he called me. What was it? 3 o'clock in the morning there.
Something like that. Yeah. Something like
and
that.
he was like, "I don't
Yo,
want to
check
talk.
this.
I don't want to talk to you. I
I
just want
couldn't
you to
hear you.
watch."
So he started off all happy, and then I think he got closer to his tube station. He was like,
Yeah, nah.
"This guy's
I
actually."
think I showed you the road. I showed you Bow Road. Like, this is what I'm looking at right
I was
now.
like, that also
Greg,
looks.
probably a bit.
That also looks lit.
It was horrible.
That
but
also looks cool.
It was cold as well. I was angry.
It was very warm. It was
Yeah.
very warm in the Sambadrome. Oh, blessed. So blessed. So I went to this party called Nossa Camarote. So Camarote just means cabin in Portuguese. And so at the Sambadrome, which is like a 10,000 seater stadium, arranged in 2 stands down a kilometre stretch of road, there are different sections per party company. And we were very lucky through a hookup to get invited to like the #1 Primo VIP party company, which is half owned by a woman who's like the #1 club promoter in Brazil, half owned by Ronaldo Nazario, El Fenomeno.
Oh, the goat.
And so it is basically the primo spot if you go to Carnival. And so we turned up. We had to go through all kinds of ID checks at the Fairmont Hotel, get like some accreditation, special T-shirt and whatnot. Turned up, open bar. Everyone's having it. And then like the Brazilian Ariana Grande walks in, right? And there's just like all kinds. Is that your Tim Westwood soundboard?
Yep.
Are you running that early?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that again?
Crazy.
It was. It was crazy.
Does the Brazilian Ariana Grande have a name?
I did not find it out.
Right, okay.
Or I've forgotten it. Either way, I don't have that information available to me.
I mean,
She's very, very nice to look at, however.
Am I throwing you off?
No, she's throwing me off. And then, like, I accidentally shoulder charged the guy who's about 6'5", and then he kind of looked at me.
Whoa.
You're
didn't.
just saying that everybody in
didn't.
Brazil's short.
Except this guy.
You didn't shoulder charge. You didn't shoulder charge.
I did. I
anybody
turned around
who
and
was
like,
6'5".
I gave it to him.
You didn't.
On the shoulder.
So you shoulder charge someone who's a foot taller than you.
A whole 1.5 foot taller than me. And turns out that he was actually the winner of Big Brother. Big Brother is still a thing in Brazil. It has 7 dedicated
Wow,
channels.
you missed.
It's coming back here, bro. It's coming back here.
Is it coming back?
They announced it's coming
Shit.
back here.
And then shubs in, parades go past, look around the corner, Ronaldinho's in the booth.
Wow.
The second goat.
A-listing.
Well, he's not my second.
Did you ever
goat,
work
but-
with him for what he did to the boys in Korea?
Absolutely not. No, I was
Hold it.
far too rattled to approach him.
I thought he wasn't allowed to leave. Like, when did he get caught? Did
He
get
got caught in Paraguay.
Yeah.
He was in jail. He'd done his time.
Oh shit!
yeah,
Because of a
case.
fake passport or some shit.
Some weird shit.
Why has
Yeah.
he got a fake passport?
Trying to be incognito, but it's hard to hide with them teeth.
Mad.
Yeah.
Hard to hide with them teeth.
How are them teeth in real life? Because they look
Horsey.
mad.
Yeah, they're not small.
Yeah.
They're not small. I mean, you could like, there's some guys, some celebrities you see like, is that him? Is that? You can definitely tell it's
Like a
Ronaldinho.
mile off.
Yeah, you can see him quite clearly.
Was he still wearing like the
Hairband.
the Jamaican
The headband.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that. So he had about
Jamaican.
approximately 6 to 7 Wham security guards and equal number young blonde girls
Hey.
around him.
Nice.
It was very much
life.
very much like when I saw Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn in Club Live in Miami. Similar security to young blonde ratio.
Yikes.
It's maybe the A-list ratio of choice. Brazil is beautiful. It's like the most green country I've ever seen in my life. There's a rainforest. We did all the waterfall stuff.
Johnny.
Went to Christ the Redeemer. Had to put a yarmulke on so I didn't go up in flames.
Johnny.
Did Christ the Redeemer, did Sugarloaf Mountain, very lit. Most spiritual of all, went to
Johnny.
watch a match at the Maracanã Stadium.
Cool.
That was... What?
How many cheeks were clapped?
Great question.
I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of cheeks clapped during the week of Carnival.
How many?
They say it's
cheeks
actually a phenomenon.
were
In the
clapped
favelas, they say there's a
by
population
Johnny.
boom every November because it's 9 months after the standard day
Johnny.
of Carnival.
So is there going to be Pequeño Vivas running around in November?
No, because the Carnival was in April this year.
Right.
So we've answered the question. Let's
I'm
move
not
on.
gonna have this hooligan come back from Brazil and give me all this talk about how spiritual it was.
It was very spiritual. Connected with nature. I made friends with people.
Johnny, how many cheeks were clapped?
Brazil's, they're very friendly people, very
Real
spiritual
politician
people. I'm sure many cheeks were clapped during the week. And there's a lot of beautiful people. It doesn't surprise me that they got up to a lot of nasty stuff between them.
Okay. And then you went to what was the route? You did Argentina first?
No, we went to Brazil for 5 days
Then you
and then
went
went
Argentina.
down to Buenos
Yeah,
Aires.
yeah.
Dead, don't go.
Yeah, you dedicated another whole post
Yeah.
to shitting on a country, which I
Yeah,
thought was incredible.
Probably, yeah. So there's a reason I don't have any Argentinian friends. It's also probably the closest to a Tory I've ever been. Like I was kind of like
Well, other than working for a bank.
Well, as in, other than working, says the
Got
former,
him.
says the quite literal
Don't bite.
former Pretty Patel employee.
You caught a big one. You caught a big one.
You caught me. It's
Yeah.
fine. You can have it. That's fine. I was like, I understand why these men went to war. Like, even if I didn't care about the Falklands, I'm now like, it's the closest thing to feeling British that I've ever felt in hating the Argentines.
This is mad chat, mate.
Argentinian people here are quite nice. They're quite nice, but like it was just like basically I went there expecting something like, because they kind of could see themselves culturally as like aloof and superior to the rest of us filthy spicks, right? And so like they think that they're
inferiority complex to me, but carry on.
welcome to being Latin American, but they kind of see themselves like superior, like quasi-European. I mean, half of their grandfathers stood on SS Waffen tanks, like in the Second World War, and half of them were Italian fascists, and that's why they've ended up in Argentina. But they kind of got this like cultural superiority, and so I kind of like went thinking like, okay, if you're going to be dickheads, then maybe you are a little bit more developed than the rest of a very dysfunctional continent.
Fair
It turns out
assumption.
it's got all of the kind of like aesthetic charm of a mid-tier European city, but with still
What,
all...
like a Prague?
Probably
Or
not
Buda-
as pretty as a Prague.
Not as pretty as Prague.
it's
Like a
it's-
Budapest?
No, but it's like a Western Europe because they're all Italian or French. Basically, half of it was designed to look like Paris. 'Cause There's like
Right.
an obelisk in the middle of town. It's like a B-grade French or Italian city with all the dysfunction of a Latin American one.
Like
right?
a Naples or a Milan.
I think there's like a charm to a Napolitano dysfunction
Sure.
or a Bergamo dysfunction, right?
And
But-
no charm to Argentinian dysfunction.
Absolutely none at all. Absolutely none at all. Like I might as well have been in Caracas. At least it would have been cheaper.
Crazy.
Proper. So there's like so many stupid things like you go and like the exchange rate that you get like getting cash out in the bando is twice as good as using your card, which means if you accidentally pay for anything by your card,
You get fucked.
You're basically paying London prices
Yeah.
in a totally fucked economy. If you want to buy anything before 12 o'clock, they won't serve you. If you want a mocha, even though they do chocolate and hot chocolate and coffee, they won't make you a mocha.
Yeah, but you know what? No one likes people that go off menu and they're not. From
Yeah,
that
don't be that
country.
guy. Just stick to
I
the
mean,
menu.
I feel like-
hate people like you who go to other people's countries and just flex.
Yeah.
Pick from the menu.
Yeah, I feel like a mocha is firstly not an unreasonable thing to ask for.
But is it on the menu?
Secondly, in Spanish, like it wasn't like I was asking them in English or as a Yank. Kind of feel like I'd done my bit to earn some cultural affinity. So anyway, are you going to play a sound? Or?
Look, you do your thing. I
I'm
control
just-
the soundboard.
Listen,
here,
I'm
okay?
just saying. I'm
do
just
your
saying.
thing.
Like,
Don't
I
anticipate it. My timing is on point.
I went
okay?
to South America expecting to find a better country than Venezuela. I've come back and I've not found a better country than Venezuela. I'm a Venezuelan nationalist.
Famously functional. Venezuela.
Famously functional. Very good coffee. And you can get a mocha if you want because like we're nice and easy people. But Brazil was very nice, beautiful. Actually, the major takeaway from holiday was that speaking Spanish in Brazil, totally fucking useless. They do not speak any Spanish.
I don't sound like a dicker, but they speak Portuguese.
They speak
there.
Portuguese, but if you go to Lisbon and speak
That's
Spanish,
like saying like, oh, actually, coming to London speaking French doesn't really work.
no, but they don't. The English
did
French
you
don't
just
sound
say?
alike. If you go to Lisbon speaking Spanish or to Rome speaking Spanish, people can't understand. They can understand, and then they can reply to you in their language, and then you can figure it out. If you speak to like a cabbie in Rio in Spanish, totally baffed, right?
Well-
and it's because the accent as well as the grammar is so different that to them it just sounds baffed, right?
Well,
So, like,
thank God that you're an amazing linguist.
Thank God
Mate.
I'm an amazing
Yeah.
linguist. Like the address that I was staying at in Spanish, you would say 1700 Rua Prudente de Moraes con la esquina de Avenida de Enrique de Monte, right? That's in Spanish. In Brazilian Portuguese, it sounds something like 1700 Rua Prudente de Moraes con la esquina de Enrique de Monte. It's totally different. They don't understand a fucking word you're
It's a
saying.
different language, Johnny.
Basically, in Portugal you can get away with it. In Brazil you can't. So I had to learn Portuguese in a few days. That was
Had
it.
I known that this would be a language lesson, I may not have come because I ignore my Duolingo notifications for a reason.
I'm
What are you trying to learn?
a pastiche on the aggressive
We're
owl.
trying to learn Hebrew so I can speak to my grandma because I went to visit her and like, we just had this like dead situation where I had to just put like the Google Translate thing on the table.
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't remember your bar mitzvah class of 2006?
No, I mean my biblical Hebrew is pretty on point, but like it's somewhat different to like go in a restaurant and ask for food compared to like telling what God told Moses in the desert.
Did God not
At
tell
least-
Moses
at
get
least-
the fucking hummus?
At least they've got Hebrew in Duolingo, mate. Try to speak to your 90-plus-year-old Nigerian grandmother.
Yeah, I actually don't have one of those.
Can't be. Yeah, no.
Soon come.
Trying
though.
to lean on Duolingo for those languages is even more of a myth.
Is there no
Yeah.
Yoruba in Duolingo?
No, bruv.
Oh, bleak.
Yoruba's basically, you basically just got to get like a tutor.
Okay.
Pretty much.
You're going to invest
Yeah.
in that.
Nah, bruv, that's too short. Anyway.
It's just culture.
Grandma's life is.
I mean, she won't be here for very long. Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah, you did.
I'm joking. Anything else you want to tell us about this holiday?
It's a beautiful place. You should go. You should avoid Buenos Aires. I don't know. I probably had some notes written down but you're an anti-note guy, so I won't get them out. But go. Rio's gorgeous. Go to Carnival. It's a once in a lifetime experience. There's so much to do around Rio. I'm going to go back.
The girls can do kick-ups.
The girls can do kick-ups.
Yep.
They've literally got worldies on the beach just playing foot volleyball. They're better than 7 out of 10 men that kickball down the marshes. Also significantly langer. Yeah.
What's the cosmetic surgery situation?
Yeah,
Actually,
like out there?
Because
not.
I watched a Vice documentary about Miss Bum Bum from
Yeah,
Brazil.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
it was
They
a
get to-
madness.
They get to their sweet 16 and then they
Yeah,
they
genuinely.
get their presents.
Yeah, genuinely not that prevalent. Honestly, not that prevalent. You don't
Do you
really
think
see.
it's a trend that's shifted away from prominence?
I feel it's kind of like the thing where, like, actually, most Turkish men have quite good hair, yet all men from Southend go to Turkey.
But it's the
to
home
get
of
their
the
hair
BBL.
transplants. Much like Turkey's the home
It
of the hair
is one
transplant.
of the Bs in
Yeah,
the BBL.
literally.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we should normalize the phrase Turkish hairlines. But no,
Bro, I was in Istanbul airport the other week.
bare dotted heads.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
It's
Because
ridiculous.
you see all the
man.
TikToks, but you don't know if it's like actually
Oh
like
my
that.
lord! Like,
very mad.
There was obviously a lads trip where that was the sole purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they were just sat in a row in front of me. Like
I know a
in-
couple
in
men
a
have done it.
four. And then they got off and they were walking through the
But
the
how
airport.
how long is your hair like tapped for? Like, because
A couple months. You can't get more for a couple months.
Can't do anything with your head top.
They gave Rob Holding a whole hamstring injury so that he could get his thing done.
But welcome back,
Thank you very much.
Johnny.
Glad to be home.
It sounded truly
Go.
amazing.
spiritual.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I've not done South America yet at all. I actually
Do
think
it.
the first place I will go will be Chile.
Oh,
'Cause I've
that's
got-
niche.
yeah,
Why are
'cause
you
I've
going
got
to
a good-
Chile?
I've got a good friend out there who I've been promising to go and see for like 15 years.
Okay.
So I'll probably start there.
Get some earthquake insurance.
I hear that's even more European than Argentina, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it can't be any less dysfunctional. So
Fair play. Fair play. Where do we want to start? We've got a few things we can talk about today. It's been a crazy week. Crazy. Oh, yeah, no. I should say this as well. Big up everybody who tuned in and sent in really, really heartfelt, really lovely messages regarding episode 40, which was obviously around mental health, depression, and the economy. It's Mental Health Week, officially next week. I think Mental Health Awareness Week when this comes out. So if you haven't sent that to people who you think could benefit from it, please do. I think it's got a bunch of gems in there. Shout out Ellie, shout out Henry who joined us. And yeah. We will
shout out you, man. Shout out us. I'm proud of that one, man.
Yeah, it was
proud
really, really dope. It was really, really dope.
A lot of feedback on it.
So yeah, tune into that if you haven't. Send it to people who need to hear it if you haven't.
Amen.
But as I said, we got a few things to talk about this week. We could start with the local elections. We could go to America and speak about abortion rights. We could talk about some funnier stories. By the way, no, I am going to start somewhere. I'm pissed off. All of you people who were like...
You people?
What do you mean by you people?
Come on, bro. It's not even 20 minutes in.
The alopecia community.
Oh, yeah.
Who said that Chris Rock was deserving of that slap.
Okay.
Did you guys see what happened to Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, it's objectively funny.
Yeah, quite good. Yeah, well, because Chris Rock came up and made a joke of it, which I appreciate.
Which was amazing.
What did he say?
He was like, was that Will Smith? Yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, you probably do by now. Dave Chappelle was doing a show. Netflix is a joke, which is, I think, is a tour that he's doing, stand-up tour that he's doing. And a guy who apparently had been making thinly veiled threats for years and years and years on Twitter. I think he even made a song. A bit of a nutcase, it turns out. Managed to find his way on the stage. Approached Dave with a weapon. I think it was...
It's a replica gun.
A replica gun with a knife thing on it. You know them old school things?
Like a
with
bayonet.
Yeah,
Tried
one of
to
them
bayonet,
things.
man.
But he tackled him, right?
But he tackled him. And it took about a second and a half before Dave's security stomped, and I mean stomped the shit.
Did you see his arm?
Yeah, the video
I've never seen an arm like that unless it was in like a Family Guy episode.
Yeah, it shouldn't go that way.
Like it just shouldn't go that way. And his head,
he Eduardo'd his like shoulder socket.
His face was fucked up. But this is exactly what I was saying, man. Like we're normalizing this bullshit now.
Amen.
People are going to be trying to do this stuff for clout, and if people like Dave are not safe, man, was it worth it? Basically, what I'm saying is, Jada Smith, you fucker, look what you've done.
No, firstly, that's toxic, Kevin Samuels. You've got to calm down. But secondly, this is just the furthering of the trend of people fucking around and finding out. And as I've expressed, I'm very pro fucking around and finding out. It didn't, did it?
But it could have.
Could have ended terribly.
Could have.
Didn't.
And then what? I can't live my life like that. Well, it didn't end up terribly. I can't live my life like that.
But he found out, and that's the cost of fucking around. Now, actually, people are less likely to do it because he got fucked up.
But did you see the guy?
Or at least rush less threatening comedians.
I don't know. I feel like if you're a nut job, you're going to do it regardless, right?
Did you see the guys who tried to start a fight with Mike Tyson on the plane?
Yeah, they fucked around and they very much found out.
Like, being on the receiving end of a Mike Tyson punch is genuinely one of life's worst outcomes.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't get much worse.
It's like, it doesn't get much
That's
worse.
high level fucking around. It's
Like,
high level finding
You can't really
out.
take a bigger L than that.
And he had multiple warnings to just leave the man alone.
But at what point, when you're staring at Mike Tyson, even if you don't know that he's a famous boxer, you see like a big dude with some face tattoos, and you think, "Oh yeah, I'll fuck with him. I'll see how this is gonna go."
This guy looks like he's worth fucking around with.
Yeah.
To find out.
And of course, if we're going through whistle stops of topics that have been going on in the last couple of weeks, this Amber Heard, Johnny. By the way, why is this thing being filmed? Why do we have access?
So this is in state court in America, and most state trials in America are filmed. It's like why you have the
even just like a Tom, Dick, and Harry.
just for they sold the TV rights. Well, they didn't sell the TV rights. Basically, it's like a public transparency thing, right? So that's why the Derek Chauvin trial was filmed. That's why the OJ trial was filmed. That's why the Michael Jackson.
I thought they were just like high profile ones that got filmed.
No. So it's basically like you can go and watch like public access TV
Real
in like
life
some
Judge
shithole. Yeah, part of America, and just watch fucking whatever you want.
Great content.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a subscription service
like
for this.
1,000 people streaming it on YouTube is because it's free. The rights are free because it's like a public information thing.
Yeah.
So anybody can just get a live stream, hook up to YouTube, and away you go.
So
very jokes.
Do we think she's a psycho, or do you think that they're both
Doesn't seem like the healthiest.
slow dancing in a
situation.
burning room? I mean, she literally shat on the bed.
She did shit on the bed. I do feel like people are kind of forgetting that all the nasty shit that he did that came out in the news last year is whilst horrendous, absolutely not. Well, how am I going to phrase this?
Ooh, Panda the Panda. He's trying to edit himself. Let it out, Johnny. The rum is flowing.
The rum has very much been flowing.
We go live to men's rights activists.
Basically, like, her shitting on a bed is not really the story. Like, he's definitely a lot more sus in this than she is. Like, he, like, almost demonstrably smacked her around and shit, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
But
This
she
came out
also,
last
like,
year.
she
We've all
was-
just forgotten about
There
it.
were recordings where she also admitted to like hitting him
Yeah,
and
she
slapping
was
him around.
boxing
Not the
him
same
up.
thing.
No, it's not the same
Not
thing.
the same
but
thing.
Basically, to me, it just sounds like a highly fucking dysfunctional shit show of a situation.
Oh, agreed.
And the reason
Both
why it's,
wrong-uns.
yeah, it's the reason why it's going viral now is because it's sort of like these perfect little viral moments, like her shitting on the bed, like her
lawyer being a dickhead.
who
Yeah,
like
yeah.
objected to himself.
That
was
was
quite funny.
maybe the funniest thing I've
and
seen
then
this
Johnny
year.
Depp's obviously because he's quite a funny guy, like constantly parring her lawyers.
He's still very much a wrong-un. Like, I feel like his PR machine
not
is
a great guy.
proper on game because all like the TikTok memes and all these weird bot accounts have been like, oh, poor Johnny's having to deal with this idiot lawyer. How hard is it?
What-
No, like, he's very sus. He's definitely smacked this woman around.
Yeah, and also like if you remember last year in the High Court in this country,
Yeah.
he was found. So basically, he sued the son for libel because they said he was like a wife beater, and he lost that case
Yeah.
because there was enough evidence
That he
to
was
prove-
definitely beating his wife.
Yeah.
exactly.
But she shat on the bed, though.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like a fucking saint.
She's obviously
Imagine marrying somebody and finding out that that person is capable of shitting on a bed and blaming the dog.
some. I mean, like, he might have been into it. He might have been
I
into
just
it.
think this is just sort of like rich people.
Rich people win. This is just an offshoot of like the Dubai Instagram girl who had to eat the dude's shit, right? This is like other trending topic of the week if we're doing drive-bys.
Yeah.
I think everyone's got a price, to be honest, with that kind of
What's your
stuff.
price to eat shit in Dubai?
No, I'm not eating shit in Dubai.
What's your
but
price to eat shit in Dubai?
So I had a conversation with my mates.
Name a price.
My mates at the pub last week about this, and one of my friends said she wouldn't do it for $1 billion with that B.
She
She's
would
lying.
not
Wouldn't do it.
eat shit for $1 billion.
No,
Oh.
and then my other mate said he'd do it for 100K. So it's like, you know, we all exist in that spectrum, right?
On the topic of the word billion, I actually thought of this for both of you whilst I was on holiday.
You thought about us on holiday?
Yeah, it's a trivia.
nice.
It's
He's
a trivia
lying.
question.
He's such a liar.
It's a trivia question. In the seminal Outcast track, Miss Jackson,
I better get this right. These are literally my gods.
does Andre 3000 apologize a million, a billion, or a trillion times?
I think it's trillion.
Trillion.
It's trillion, Carol.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That was it. I mean, someone mentioned the word billion, and I just
So,
thought, but a billion. No, I would obviously eat shit for
Yeah,
a
no,
billion
your
quid.
friend, I wouldn't trust that friend.
She said she'd rather kill a man.
She'd rather kill a man.
Rather kill a man.
That's double sus.
Yeah.
No one,
Is
no
she
one,
mega
no one
rich?
offered her
No,
that
not
alternative.
even. Just very normal.
Shout out her, but
yeah.
Is she
her
available to
principles
co-
are
is
just
she-
misaligned.
Is she
Yeah,
available?
yeah,
Is she
massively.
available to come on the podcast? I'd
yeah. I
like to
mean, I
interview
feel
her.
like you have something.
She wouldn't eat shit for $1 billion. She'd rather kill a person.
Yeah. she'd
What's
rather,
her price to kill someone?
Well, I think presumably in the hypothetical it's $1 billion, right? Realistically, I would.
I'm on record.
In that-
I would eat shit for $1 billion quid
Well, I
if
think-
someone wants to offer it.
Yeah. Sorry, with $1 billion with a B.
Yeah,
I would say like.
I'd do it for a
10
million.
million.
I'd probably do it for a million.
You'd do it for you would eat a
I'd eat human
pound
shit.
coin size piece of shit
For a million.
for 200K.
200 quid probably.
200 cans.
You would.
Yeah, I'm doing it for 200K.
Everyone's got 100%.
Yeah.
And if it was like the size of a 450 gram T-bone steak,
I'm looking for a bit more than 200K.
I reckon you'd do it for like 760K.
That's good trading. I was going to make you a 6-8 market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 The problem with the Dubai one was, for me, a lot of it was a consistency issue. It was very like 2 girls, 1 cup consistency. And I think like,
That person didn't
That's
have
liquid
like
shit.
their kale and their...
So,
yeah.
Are your terms...
very yellow and very liquid.
Oh, that's like baby shit.
Yeah, that's like baby.
That's
bro.
so nasty.
Wasn't a vibe.
Why are we talking about this? Good luck to Amber and to Johnny. I don't really know what the desired outcome is of this. He's suing her for 50 million, which he's probably already got. Probably should just settle this thing
Doesn't
so they
need it,
can
really.
go their
It's a pride
separate
thing, though,
ways.
innit?
Yeah, I guess. But I fear that he's dug himself pretty deep, and I think the revelations, to your point, are going to be really, really bad as her side of the story continues, because I think that's the side of the case that we're on now, right?
And also, like, no one in this is covering themselves in glory. are
Yeah. What was it? A 2 million person petition was signed to get her off Aquaman 2 or something, and I think she's only in the
Yeah,
film for like 5 minutes or some shit.
Swear down.
they?
Jesus.
You've got all presumably the Pirates of the Caribbean stands that are rising up. The real, like, Davy Jones locker heads.
I never watched that. Never watched Pirates
It's
of
just
the
one of those like
What?
Disney films that
Yeah,
just
never.
like
You never watched it?
No.
That's dead chat.
Wasn't my bag.
That's
I
definitely
love Johnny
very
Depp,
sus
but I'm
chat.
still like watching Edward Scissorhands and shit. Like that's my Johnny Depp. That's my king.
would you
Gosh,
dabble in
it's
a
so
Willy
boring.
Wonka Johnny Depp?
I liked Willy Wonka Johnny Depp, but it's not quite what's his name? My man, the original,
Gene
My-
Wilder.
the OG. Yeah,
My man.
He's my guy.
Yeah,
That's
the
my
original
king.
is better. I agree. The Charlie looks less meaty as well.
So, when were you guys going to tell me that Adolf Hitler was Jewish?
Very good.
When were you going
What
to
is
tell me
this?
that?
How many
I mean, you
minutes
guys
are
have
we?
been. You guys have been.
It's a strike two.
This could end terribly sponsored by the Russian government.
Yeah. When were you guys going to tell us? Because you guys have been making us believe that this was some sort of
It's an internal conspiracy.
Yeah,
Like
well-
all the best ones.
like.
Yeah, goes right to the top.
How did that leak?
Auschwitz was our 9/11. Just don't tell anyone.
9/11 was also.
That is
9/11.
mad.
9/11 was also our 9/11. Yeah.
Not really much to say on that Russian geezer who said that.
Yeah. Actually, what is
I'm
quite-
still petrified of talking about
what-
Russians.
like,
so
actually,
I just want to move on.
what was more damaging for the brand isn't that Sergei Lavrov said that, because like you could be like, okay, he's obviously a dickhead. It was that Vladimir Putin actually apologized for it.
Yeah.
This guy that has essentially committed quasi-genocide in Ukraine and hasn't apologized for that, did apologize for a single Hitler inference.
What do you call that?
Guilt. Call that moral guilt. This is-
Power of the Jewish lobby. I don't know.
That's where I was getting at. Yeah, buddy. That's what I was getting at. What the fuck was that answer? That's what I'm here
A
for.
little bit too enthusiastic there.
Right. Should we get onto some serious topics?
Let's get on some non-anti-Semitic content.
What do you want to start with? I'm giving you the choice.
Is it Porn MP? Are we doing Porn MP?
What?
Porn MP.
What's that one again? Oh yeah, when he was. We can get onto that. I think let's do
a light one
let's
to
do
end on.
UK.
We'll do
Let's
that-
do
do that down the
UK
track.
the elections. Let's do the elections and what it means.
Very good.
For the Tories, Labour, and the Lib Dems
Yeah.
actually, and maybe we can
Who?
work in the porn gate.
Yes.
And all of that stuff. And my baby. My ginger baby,
Ginger queen.
opening and closing her legs to apparently put off
Yes.
Boris Johnson. Wouldn't put it past her, to be honest. She seems freaky deaky.
Jesus.
Where do you guys want to start with this? So obviously we had local elections in the UK this week, and in short, we have had quite a shitty day for the Conservatives.
Thank goodness.
Man like Keir, Big Keir, has told Johnny Vivas to suck my dick, bitch.
Absolutely. That's
Just-
absolutely
just-
not
no,
the take.
that's basically what's happened.
Not the take.
And I don't really have the numbers here. I thought I had all of the notes down, but for some reason they've disappeared. But Labour was responsible for winning 159 seats or something like that. And the Tories lost something like 200. Am I right in
I
saying
think
that?
they've lost slightly more than that now because
Yeah.
more results coming out.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't a great night for them. I think the big thing was that Labour won in London.
Yeah. Wandsworth.
Westminster, Barnet, and Westminster.
Crazy.
Which I think all three of them have been pretty solidly Tory. Wandsworth, like famously for being super Tory, having the lowest council tax in the country.
Thatcher's borough.
Yeah,
Westminster's never been Labour, right? Is
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
one?
never.
Yeah, very mad chat. Although I think like the main takeaway is that Keir Starmer was going to stay catching L's.
Why do you keep
because-
saying that? Can you be fair? Can you be objective?
Absolutely not.
Let's focus on his wins first before
So
we talk about
Labour's-
his L's. Because the
Labour's-
L was the Durham thing I'm thinking you're talking about, right?
So yeah, he's going to get
So
investigated.
let's talk about his wins first.
But it's not really a win
please.
because Labour's share of the vote hasn't actually increased. Stayed the exact same since 2018.
Explain that for the
elections.
listeners.
Well, the share of the vote is the number of people, the percentage of the voting populace that has voted Labour hasn't changed since the 2018 local elections.
Okay.
What has changed is that people have defected from the Tories to vote for Lib Dems, right? Where before, in the last few elections, 2018 locals and 2019, the story was that because Corbyn was such a scary proposition, you had to vote for the Conservatives because voting for anyone else is putting Corbyn into power. Now that Corbyn isn't in power anymore, people are less afraid to vote for the Lib Dems, or it's less threatening to not vote for the Tories. And so the story isn't necessarily that Labour have made a massive gain here, because although they've done very well in London, they've not done really so well outside of London.
Yeah, they've not grown much at all.
The Red Wall hasn't been restored as such, and a lot of the votes in the South are going from the Tories to the Lib Dems. And so what does this mean? It means, are Labour net more popular for having gotten rid of Corbyn? No, because although Corbynistas are generally jarring people, they are very energetic voters and they organise and they campaign. and those numbers count when it comes to general election season. But
I'd actually argue they don't count because they're all just stacked up in seats that they don't need them to win. You could like halve the amount of Labour voters in pretty much every seat that they win in, and they'd still win with the seat.
But that's not. But that can't be true because then the Red Wall wouldn't have been decimated in 2019.
But no, I'm talking about the Corbynistas aren't in those seats, right? Then like, they're in like your Bristols, your like London seats, your like urban areas, and like they just stack them up there, and you get like bigger majorities in like fucking Islington, but you don't actually win new seats.
Sure. Okay. So I can understand that point to an extent. I think the point I'm getting at is that driving away that enthusiastic voter base without the. Okay, so I think we all agree, I definitely am on the record as saying Corbyn was a waste man, but victimising that wing of the party, that energetic wing of the party, has not led to Labour increasing its vote share. And so the net result is that, okay, maybe we've got some quasi-centrists back into the fold, but Labour as a party has not increased its vote share for victimising that wing of the party. And that's dangerous. And it's ineffective because we've got probably the single most unpopular government of all time. And Labour as the main opposition party has not increased its vote share in that context. What we've done is the politically impossible, and we've made the Lib Dems relevant again, right? And that in itself will probably be Keir Starmer's greatest political achievement. Making the Lib Dems relevant again is historic in Westminster. Are the Labour Party in a better position for it? The votes have not dictated that to date.
Is there a risk or a possibility that they may merge?
No. So what we've seen in France this week is that the leftist parties from the Parti Socialiste, which is basically Labour, and the Communists and other left-leaning parties have all formed a leftist coalition for the June parliamentary elections because they basically clocked that had they not been waste men, Jean-Luc Mélenchon would probably have a reasonable chance of being president of France right now.
Your take on that was awful, by the way. I was going to text you.
I said he was going to come second, and had all those parties not been dickheads, he would have come second.
You said Marine Le Pen was also going to win.
I said she had a better chance than people
You
realise.
said she would win.
I said she had a better chance than
You
people
said
realise.
she
Some
would
recorded
win.
people can listen back if they want. Anyway,
We didn't say it on record. We said it before an episode.
well, if it's not recorded, it doesn't count.
Okay, fair enough. Carry on.
Pix or you lie. Are Labour and the Lib Dem going to join forces? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's realistic.
Because their beliefs and their values are so diverged? Why?
Because it doesn't really make sense for the Labour Party to do it. If they basically just sharpened up in their campaigning, and actually, now that Keir Starmer's in charge and isn't Corbyn, if they moved their policy platform somewhere towards the 2019 manifesto, I think they'd clean up a lot of votes. A lot of what is in that manifesto is extremely popular. People now think the idea of like free broadband for all, pretty straightforward, makes sense, we should do that. Now that everyone's energy bills...
Are we still hyping like that's a big deal? Bro, I was in Tbilisi and they had like Wi-Fi for all.
Right, but we don't. And we don't, right?
Chilled.
Now that everyone's energy bills are totally fucked, the idea of nationalising these energy companies, not so radical. Probably quite a popular policy, right? The reason that we've done so well in Barnet is because we've purportedly removed this scourge of anti-Semitism from the party. Okay, so we solved that problem. That's a vote winner, right? And so all these things, now that Labour's kind of cleared up this weird Corbyn obsession image, Keir Starmer seems to be a more acceptable face for the establishment to vote for. These are all good grounds for the Labour Party to win power on its own. But at the moment, its policy platform is so uninspiring that even people like me, people who are significantly more engaged in the Labour Party, can't name a policy. Can't name a policy. Nobody knows what the modern Labour Party stands for. So I don't think there is a danger of going with the Lib Dems solely because we don't need them. We are in front of the most unpopular government in modern history.
They watch porn in the House of Commons.
Probably the most relatable things they've done. Probably the most relatable thing any Tory has done in office in the last 10 years.
What do you reckon his search command was?
Well, he said he was trying to look for tractors.
Tractor porn.
I mean,
Yeah.
who among us, hasn't?
Who among us hasn't Googled like
I'm not gonna lie.
shaved field gets
I've
ploughed?
watched a couple racy videos on a farm.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
That's quite niche.
So I see what he's getting at.
That's quite niche. Separating the wheat from the chaff.
Literally.
We don't need the Lib Dems. The Lib Dems are like totally irrelevant.
What's
And
that guy's name? Something Davey.
Ed David.
Ed
Ed
Dave
Davey.
type. Yeah, just like totally pointless. But there is a chance here. And like this election should really give the Labour Party some confidence and some impetus that the Tories can be defeated. I do think, however, remember when Partygate was kicking off, I said they wouldn't get rid of Boris in March, in February. They'd do it later in the year. I think this is the beginning of the end for Boris.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
He's
You can't
noticeably
take L's like this.
quieter. And
Yeah, there was a really funny thing I saw that some wanker lobby journo tweeted that Boris put in the whole Tory MPs group chat thank you everybody for your support. I really appreciate all the hard work. We'll get through this. Blah 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 blah. No one replied.
One woman replied in like 2 hours.
after 2 hours later.
There was
yeah.
another great
Whoa.
tweet, which was like, Boris has managed to lose Westminster, Wandsworth, and his wife all within the space of 2 months. Something like that, which is quite jokes. But even more funny is that the Conservative and the Unionist Party, having already taken us out of Europe, will likely be the party that foresees the end of the Union. In that the SNP are projected to be the largest winners in Scotland, and Sinn Féin are likely to be the largest winners in Northern Ireland. So, like, making the Lib Dems is fucking remarkable for Labour to have done. But making Sinn Féin a majority party in Northern Ireland,
Let them go, man.
pretty fucking special. Pretty fucking special. So, like, having taken us out of Europe, they will actually probably see an independent Scotland and a unified Ireland as their political legacy after a decade and a half in power.
Yeah, I mean, you know, good luck to Northern Ireland and Scotland. I actually think we'd probably be like people in England, which is like the majority of like the money, the population in this country, would actually be far better off if we didn't have a net loss of like 58 billion just to pay for Northern Ireland to exist.
Yeah.
So like, let them go. If they want to go that bad, go, man. Just leave.
I mean, do we not just make the case for London bordering the M25 up?
Yeah.
Just
like,
build the
I am
wall.
more for that, actually.
Yeah, because there's
Man in Hartlepool, just sort yourself out, innit?
well, there's this mad stat that like
Do your thing, Hartlepool.
in Europe, like 4 of the 10 richest areas in Europe are in London, and then 4 of the 10 most deprived areas in Europe are in like the northeast of England. So it's like this complete mental juxtaposition that we have in this country, where like inside the M25 produces like 40% of our whole economic output.
Probably a buyer at 40. It's probably higher than
Yeah.
40. It's also unhealthy for the rest of the country as it stands, because it's just a brain drain, right? People go to university anywhere in the country, and then with their degrees, all come to London.
Yeah,
to get
and
jobs.
they fucking moan about how expensive everything is. It's just like, you know what, big man, go back to Manchester.
It is quite expensive.
No, it
As
is.
a Londoner, it's quite expensive.
So-
it's pretty bleak.
So does Keir Starmer have to, if he is found to have been breaking the law as a result of the pictures with him with a bottle of beer in Durham, prove that he broke the law? Does he resign?
So this is kind of where I think the Labour Party have pussy nature in their DNA.
Yeah.
If you were a good if the Tory party at this point would go, this guy's not performed particularly well. Okay, like the Conservatives have shat the bed, Labour have not hit the stars here, right? And yet we have essentially a prime minister in waiting in the wings. The Conservative Party at this point would go, Keir's not done very well. Andy Burnham is obscenely popular.
Yeah.
And there's a general election coming in the next year, probably. 10% inflation, growth about to go off a cliff, recession coming, living standards squeeze. We need to get another 5-year term ASAP. And Conservatives go, this leader's not done very well. We have a bloke ready to cook. Replace him now.
Who?
Andy Burnham.
Andy Burnham.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant Tories. My bad.
No. So
Sorry,
the Tories, if Labour were the Tories, they go, this guy's not performed well.
okay.
We have another guy coming.
Understood. Yeah, Burnham's the guy.
Let's get this deal done. Labour won't do it. Ironically, I think the Tories will get rid of their leader and win the next election with a new leader, and Labour will lose sticking
man,
more to this
that'll
guy.
be the end.
This is what everybody says. It's going to be like another, because the Tories have got this thing where they've been in power so long, they just reinvent themselves every 5 minutes and become a new thing.
That's entirely correct. But regicide is very much a part of their DNA.
Yeah, big time.
They got rid of Thatcher because
Yeah.
it didn't suit them anymore after 10 years in power, and it kept them on for another 5 years.
Got rid of Major.
Right? Got rid of Major. I mean, that didn't work out as well for them. But they're very used to chopping leaders if it helps them to
Well, yeah,
survive.
which is kind of surprising that more man haven't moved to Boris yet.
I think it will come now. And
Yeah.
I think I said in episode 38 or 39, Ben Wallace is the guy.
Yeah.
Holding on to that prediction.
Yeah. Did you see Boris with your morning television queen this week, Suzanne Reid? Is
Yes.
it Susanna or Suzanne?
It's fantastic, whatever it is.
Big Sus.
Big Susie.
And his freedom pass.
Yes. Yeah. Like you won't freeze as a pensioner. You are ultimately the core
She was
constituent
like-
that we're
she-
making the rest of the country poor for.
She was like 77-year-old Elsie.
Yes. Great name.
Has gone from £17 a month energy costs to £85 a month energy
Which is haram.
costs.
Which is haram, by the way.
She is now having one meal a day to
Yeah.
save costs. And she takes her freedom pass and rides the bus all day so that she doesn't have to use up power in her home. What would you say to Elsie? What other cuts is she expected to have to make?
Well-
Boris was like, Just so you're aware.
Yeah,
Susan.
yeah.
That
Don't
freedom
forget who
pass,
gave you the freedom pass.
that freedom pass.
She could be paying to sit on the bus all day if it wasn't for me.
There's such
It's
mad
the
chat.
maddest chat, bro.
It's such mad chat.
So I heard some whispers from inside Number 10 this week that they were really not happy with how that went.
Yeah,
Oh
no
my
shit.
God.
His
Yeah,
press
like,
secretary
they
must be
think-
fuming.
I think they thought that Susanna Reid, because she usually does quite a lot of like nice sort of puffy
Yeah,
interviews,
yeah.
would give them an easy
I
ride.
forgot
but
she
I
got
think
credentials, bro.
She went for him.
BBC
Yeah,
OG.
yeah. Went for the throat.
100. And rightly so. He fucking deserves it. Listen, as Parts May, rest in peace, used to say, un país tiene el gobierno que se merece.
that Portuguese?
Government, that's Spanish,
I'm
that one.
joking. Don't bite. Don't
Government,
bite.
a country gets the government it deserves.
Yep.
And it's 100% right. You fucking morons keep voting for this party. And it's specifically you pensioners that keep voting for this party. Now you can freeze on your fucking buses, right?
100%.
Grow up and vote for a reasonable party, and you won't be so fucking cold. How about
They're all
that?
kind of dead though, like the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously bleak.
Right. Very good. We're going to move on to America.
America.
And if you needed any more proof that America is an increasingly crazy place to be, this week it got a bit scarier. So, yeah, you would have seen this all throughout social media, and if you've not been living under a rock, you would have heard a story regarding abortion rights in the States. And the story is ultimately that the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court had to confirm that a leaked document which came from
Washington
Politico,
Post,
Politico.
Politico, sorry,
yeah, one of them, claiming that the historic Roe and Wade legislation or judgment, whatever you want to call it, which ultimately legalized abortion rights, was being reconsidered for reversal. For context, if you don't know what Roe v. Wade is, Roe v. Wade was the Supreme Court case in America that first came about in the 70s. And essentially it looked into abortion rights as part of the US Constitution. They basically wanted to recognize women's rights to ending their own pregnancies. Ultimately, the Supreme Court Justice unanimously, well, it wasn't fully unanimous, but it was pretty much majority 7-2, decided that yes, abortion is a constitutional right. That case, and the reason why it's called Roe v. Wade, is because it was put forth by Jane Roe, which is a fictional alias of a Texan woman who filed the case against Henry Wade, who was at the time district attorney of Dallas County. Texas law at the time ultimately said that abortion was illegal, except in instances where it would cause or prevent mother's death. And Roe's lawyers argued that those caveats were vague and unconstitutional, and that making abortion illegal infringed upon Roe's rights to privacy. So clearly, this is a big deal if this gets overturned. If it is overturned, it means that abortion's legality would be ultimately decided by individual states. And currently, abortion remains legal in every state, even though different states have varying levels of how they implement it and the restrictions around it and the wording around it. Mm-hmm. This will blow that completely open. It's mad, obviously, that this has been leaked somehow, but in some ways, it's kind of...
Totally not mad. Totally by design.
Oh, yeah?
Totally, yeah.
That it was leaked?
100%.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, I mean, this is how policies are tested on the public.
Okay.
Do you want to carry on? Or
No, you can crack on. I mean
this,
that's pretty much the intro.
This is how policies are tested. And it's what is now dark and insidious is that the Supreme Court, which like at least had a pretense of political independence, is now openly practicing policy advocacy, where that really is the role of government. You know, if the Biden or the Trump administration decided that they wanted to test the public's response to the recriminalization of abortion, that's their right. That is their democratic mandate. Supreme Court shouldn't be doing that. It's now just taken the mask off. And this is really what happens when you vote the guy who hosted The Apprentice to the presidency and allow him 3 Supreme Court picks. This is the main legacy.
You can blame Ruth Bader Ginsburg for that.
You
really.
absolutely can. Absolutely can.
Tell me more.
So Ruth Bader Ginsburg was this famous liberal justice.
Yeah, we love her.
Jewish queen.
like icon. You know, when she died, there was all the Ruth Kanda forever tweets. There was a whole thing.
So watching her in the gym is wow, unbelievable.
Yeah,
What a woman.
and then when she died, her personal trainer who did like the push-ups next to her open casket, weird vibe, Americans.
So strange people.
But she was obviously like a hero for the left and a hero for like progressive causes, and she was really old, right? And because you're on the Supreme Court for life, the only way you're getting off it is if you step down or you die. And everybody said that she should have stepped down when Obama was still in office. Then you can basically re-up on a good one and then get someone relatively young, keep them in the thing for ages, so you're not giving away as much of the balance of the Supreme Court, you know, when Donnie Trump rolls up. She didn't do that, and she died, obviously, when Trump was in office. She got replaced by Amy Coney Barrett, who's like absolute, like, polar fucking opposite.
Fucking hopeless.
Like, massive, like, pro-lifer, like abortions, the devil sort of thing. And as a result, you've now got this situation where if you read the opinion that was leaked, the reason why they haven't picked up on it before, like Supreme Courts have basically ignored Roe v. Wade, is because there's this idea of like precedent, right? Where if the Supreme Court has acted in the past, you usually just consider it like settled issue, leave it the fuck alone. And they haven't done that. And if you read the justification for that in like the actual document, it's fucking nuts. They're basically saying like, yeah, precedent's sick. Usually we would respect it. But this specific thing...
This one's special.
Yeah.
This one's bad.
This one's special.
And so, you know, as a result, there's all these states where should Roe v. Wade get overturned, as, you know, could happen according to the leaked document, like 13 states will instantly ban abortion just like that. And then you'll basically get this sort of like patchwork situation where if you're a woman in the South, you might end up having to like go 500 miles to try and get an abortion. Obviously these things are
But
like
wasn't
super
that ruled out as well? I
time-sensitive.
read something about, or maybe it was just Twitter stuff, where it's like, wouldn't that also be
So
deemed
it's up,
illegal?
yeah, it's up to the states. So they could like criminalize you for like crossing borders.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
could do all this mad shit basically. And
But
like,
under a Republican administration, that will become a federal crime.
Yeah.
Because you're going across state borders to commit a crime
exactly.
in your
But
state,
then,
right? It's fucked.
and you know, I was listening to this podcast the other day that basically said if you're a rich woman that wants an abortion, you'll basically be fine, right? Because you can pay enough money to go to a New York or a California where they're, you know, relatively easy to get. And if you're a rich woman that lives in a red state, you're fine. If you're any sort of woman that lives in a blue state, you're probably fine. The ones that will get fucked were the poor women in red
red.
states who literally can't go anywhere. You know, they can't afford to travel 600 miles at a moment's notice. And it's going to be like this total shit show.
It's so bleak. And like the Supreme Court do actually have precedent for this precedent shit, because they did it in the 2000 Florida vote recount, where they were like, we're making a ruling on this. Don't do this one again. This ruling actually doesn't count anytime in the future.
And that's how you know it's sus, right?
And it's super sus. And they've pulled the exact same trick for Roe v. Wade. They've gone, well, yeah, like, okay, like, yeah, all right, precedent. But this time...
This time's different.
This one's different. This one's built different. So it's extremely sus.
Remind me, how come Trump was able to make 3 choices? Was it because
Anthony
people
Kennedy
stepping down?
Anthony Kennedy died.
Okay.
And Neil Gorsuch got in.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg
died and got Amy Coney Barrett in, and I think someone else stepped down, and that was Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
So Trump was just very, very lucky.
No, that's not even true. It was at the end of the Obama presidency, someone left, and so there was this whole thing about blocking Obama's final
because they were like,
thing.
you can't nominate
You
someone
can't do that in
in
a lame duck presidency where it would be wrong for you. So then they got Neil Gorsuch in, and then in the exact same circumstances,
but if he's not able to select on his
he
way
didn't
out,
have a Senate majority.
who appointed that person? Then?
So
got
the
carried
president
over to
nominates. Yeah.
So he made that choice essentially
Yeah.
early
Yeah,
doors.
so he got to pick it because
Oh,
he was
so it was
also in control
delayed
of the
and then
Senate.
okay,
yeah,
wow,
so they
shit.
basically, because he was only in control of the presidency and not of both houses,
It's
they were
infuriating.
like, well, we're going to create this precedent where actually lame duck presidents should be allowed to do it. And then under the exact same circumstances, they were like,
Well, even less time with Donald Trump.
yeah. I mean,
like with Obama, it was like 6 months or so before the election.
And
with Donald Trump, there was like
4
like,
weeks.
Yeah.
And
it
they
was
were like, oh, no, yeah, get the Catholic girl in. She'll be level-headed. That's fine. So he's extreme. I don't think any other president has got 3 Supreme Court picks
that's
in a
mad.
4-year term.
not in a 4-year term, no.
It's mental. Anyway, it's fucked because basically what the Republicans have done, and it's masterful. It's genuinely masterful. This is the La Venganza, the Mitch McConnell. Everyone thought this guy was done, but I'm back again. This is how you divert outrage from the substance of the ruling, i.e. the outrageous act of recriminalising abortion, to getting everyone talking about how outrageous it is that the sanctity of the court has been impacted by this leak. And
Yeah.
so now all of the commentary in the US is who leaked it? How can this happen? This is so damaging for the confidence of the court. Liberals only want to attack the Supreme Court because it's upholding the Constitution, rather than talking about the fact that we're about to revert to the fucking Middle Ages, right? And a lot of the legal justification, Justice Alito, who wrote the opinions, justification is based on a legal school of thinking called Originalism. And so Originalism is the idea that the Constitution should be adhered to as closely as it was written by the Founding Fathers.
Jesus
Right?
Christ.
Which is such a bizarre idea that like these fucking random like quasi-British blokes 200 and something years ago, whatever, wrote this document and like we should never change.
Yeah.
We should never change. We should keep this idea,
And
right?
that's how you end up with the gun control laws,
Yep,
because
literally.
like those Supreme Court justices are like, oh, that's what they meant back then.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, they didn't have AKs then. They
No.
didn't have AR-15s.
But
then.
also,
They didn't
like,
have rocket
if
launchers
we were
then.
true originalists, like, let's be consistent originalists. And like, when I say that, it's kind of facetious because it wouldn't really work out very well for black people. But like, in terms of like gun control laws,
Yeah.
like you only allowed the right to bear arms. It's the Second Amendment, sweetheart. You were not given that right under the original Constitution. So they're very selective over what is originalist policy and what isn't. And this is what has become dangerous over the politicization of the Supreme Court. And this is why Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have left. And this is why liberals talk about expanding of the Supreme Court. This is why it's dangerous that the Supreme Court is now testing policy as if it were a political body.
Yeah.
And that's horrendous,
Yeah.
right?
So
As
now
my,
there's all this chat from like Democrats in America about basically what they can do to try and get themselves out of this pickle. And like constitutionally, there's nothing that says the Supreme Court has to be 9 justices. It's
Yeah.
just like a convention that's adhered to. So there's a method of thinking where you could basically do what's called packing the court. We basically appoint like loads of justices to like
Just
outweigh.
increase it by 4.
Just
Make the
increase it
Supreme
by
Court
4.
13 judges
Yeah,
instead.
exactly. And then you outnumber the Conservatives and then you win. Or they want to, pass a new federal abortion law, but to do that, they'll need to like undo like a filibuster law. And it's like, it's all...
Which Joe Manchin won't stand for. Anyway, I think I've said this before in this podcast, the Democrats won't do that, and they won't do that for a very simple reason. And it's because there is no such thing as value proposition in modern neoliberal politics, right? The Democrats have nothing to offer the population within the current economic and political system beyond protest voting, right? And abortions and the right to an abortion is probably the single most powerful thing that gets Democrats to get their voters out to campaign for, right?
That's what they were saying. This
It's
is
not
probably
far
going to
off.
save our boy Biden.
It's honestly, it's not far off the DNC's interest for this thing to pass, because the next time there's an election in 2024, they can go, well, you've got to vote for the Democratic Party if you want abortions to be legalized
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
and that's horrendous, right? But there's all kinds of like horrendous implications. So I saw one of very few Twitter threads that basically the Roe v. Wade, and I'll try and keep this sweet, is based on the right to privacy. And that was the fundamental basis of my rights to privately seek an abortion. It wasn't as much about the destroying of life, which the conversation, but it was about my right to privacy. And so if you remove that kind of right to privacy, and you imply that the Constitution does not protect the right to privacy, then there's a whole bunch of things that become up for grabs. So the first thing is there was a Lawrence v. Texas in 2003. The court used the right to privacy to determine it's unconstitutional to punish people for sodomy. So this ruling, if Roe v. Wade is undone, basically makes it able to recriminalize homosexuality. Case in 1965 about the right to privacy protecting the right to buy contraceptives. If this is undone, it could open the door to making contraceptives illegal. In 1968, the right to privacy was used to protect interracial marriages. Roe v. Wade gets undone. Interracial marriage could be found to be illegal. 1969, a case around finding possession of pornography. Roe v. Wade gets undone. Could be illegal to watch or to hold porn. 2015, same-sex marriage. This could open the door to banning same-sex marriage. 1923, this is fucking mad. The right to privacy was used to protect teaching your children a language other than English. Right? If the right to privacy goes, it could be illegal to teach your child anything other than English. Various other cases. Beyond all of that, it just takes America back to the Dark Ages. And shout out, Mummy, something she's always said since I've been growing up was that America is ultimately a third world country with motorways.
Facts. I say it all the time.
and
America is the ghetto. And
this proves it.
To quote Killer Mike, and obviously one of the legends Dave Chappelle, especially on the gun thing. One quick way to get that gun law changed is by all of these black people being licensed firearm holders. Then you'll see law change around that constitution.
There's another very good George Carlin joke, which is basically like Republicans are entirely pro-life, right, up until the point of birth, and at that point it's go fuck yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like universal healthcare, absolutely no way. Social welfare system, absolutely no interest. Social programs such as after school clubs and childcare and whatever, like protecting life and sanctity. After you're born, go fuck yourself. But until the point that you're born, oh yeah, no, we're very pro-life. We're very you should carry AR-15s around. That's how pro-life we are.
But to wrap it up, because you mentioned obviously that this is them testing the waters with regards to policy. There's clearly been outrage, right? What happens next?
I mean, if the Supreme Court's minded to pass it, they'll pass it. There's
Exactly.
a 6-3 majority.
So when you said that at the beginning, that they're testing it out, I was kind of like, well, if they want to put this in, then they'll put it in, irrespective of the process. I don't think the leak was deliberate. I think it was.
The leak was deliberate. The leak was so obviously deliberately done by a conservative on the court. Like this is just basic politics.
I actually think it was done by a Democrat to sort of galvanize the opposition.
Yeah,
why do you think it was done by a Democrat? What's the value for a Democrat?
Well, no, because you see them mobilizing now, right? You see this is like you were saying, right? That if it gets taken away, then they'll have a massive turnout and they'll be able to get people to the polls. I think what they're doing is they're trying to pump up some support for the midterms. And I think they're trying to get their base mobilized. And I think, you've seen protests outside the Supreme Court all week. I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything. But, you see people actually talking about it and actually getting their arse into gear, which is why I think it was sort of, leaked as, here's what's coming down the tracks. You better get fucking moving.
I kind of think the opposite. I think it's a way that the Republicans can divert the discussion away from the substance of the event taking place before the midterms even happen. Okay. And it's equally energizing for the Republican Party. The polls all suggest that Republicans are going to probably sweep both houses in these midterms. Yep. So uninspiring is the American Keir Starmer that they're going to clear up.
Sir to you, mate.
Sir, they're both fucking useless. I don't really care. It's just, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. And I just feel so sorry.
Because it's basically just saying, you've been raped, can't help you.
Wear it.
If that baby that you're giving birth to might kill you, we'll think about it. The condom splits and you don't want to be a young mum. Sorry, you shouldn't have fucked. You've just got impregnated by somebody who turns out to be an absolute fucking monster. And there's still time for you to take control. It's prepare for a life of horrible baby daddy drama.
America's just descending into religious ethno-state
Another one,
which
is another example, is just if you end up potentially giving or being pregnant with quadruplets or quintuplets or whatever, and ultimately that's a risky labor. Even if you have twins, it's a risky labor, right? And they have to take measures to reduce the risk. See how you get on, love. Good luck.
Just wear it. Yeah, good luck.
America is the fucking ghetto, bro. Shout out to our American listeners. They probably know it as well, but it's the ghetto, bro. But I guess Kanye West will be happy, I guess, at least.
Why?
Do you remember when he cried about Kim potentially wanting to abort North when he was running for president the other year?
Yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah, very, very weird. I guess he'll be.
We're all in the hole back then.
I guess he'll be happy. All right. Should we? I don't think the next topic particularly perks this up a little bit more.
I'll find a segue.
But he's one of your kings.
Oh.
Been playing a few of his one-liners and quotes all throughout the episode. He's finally caught up with Tim Westwood.
Okay.
Not necessarily my king.
Nor mine. Well, he played a certain kind of music, and it certainly wasn't Yiddish.
Yes. So,
not klezmer.
I'm so used to being bucketed with my with my peers that I'm going to do the same to you guys. Sorry, just on skin grounds.
You people.
Yeah. Tim Westwood is in the shit. It is safe to say.
What a shocker.
Facing multiple allegations of sexual misconduct by women who say that he has abused his power and abused them in the process.
Wouldn't be the first DJ to do it.
Also, fundamentally, it just comes back to the BBC's hiring policy throughout the whole
Crazy.
It's are you a nonce or a pervert? When do you want to start? Monday?
Can you spin discs? That's our two main criteria.
Yeah.
And
do you want to fuck kids and can you press play?
Yeah, literally. Exactly. I feel like he's been in his 60s forever, though. I always knew him as just old guy, but he's only 64 still.
He's older than Ghana.
Break that down.
as in like he was born before Ghana
Got its
received independence from the United Kingdom.
So I found a list of people that are the same age as Tim Westwood,
Okay.
and it might shock you. Stephen Fry, is
No
the same age
way.
as Tim Westwood.
Okay.
Famed cinematic composer Hans Zimmer.
Oh,
No
wow.
way.
Is the same age
Man,
as Tim
I thought
Westwood.
Hans Zimmer was like 80.
So did I.
Alistair Campbell is the same age
Okay.
as Tim Westwood.
That kind of makes sense.
Which kind of makes sense.
That's
because,
all
you know,
right. There's a market there.
And possibly the most famous person that is the same age as Tim Westwood, Mr. Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
Now deceased.
Equally unnaturally slim necks
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah.
I don't know why you noticed his neck, though.
Very weird neck head shape. I think he grew up as a fat kid, and then it kind of like came off as
Yeah.
he grew tall,
Yeah.
slender man vibes.
Yeah, so there was a documentary, BBC Three documentary called Tim Westwood Abuse of Power, which aired last week. And in between the years 1992 and 2017, 7 women came forward to give their accounts. So at least 7 women have been abused by this guy in the process. 2 of them were aspiring artists who wanted to get into the industry, wanted to get record deals. And that was at a time where he was at his pomp, right? Where he was genuinely the biggest name in UK music. He was bridging the gap between the US and the UK. We got all of our exclusives from the US to him first. So Friday night, Tim Westwood dropping bombs. His weird English American accent
Very sus.
was the place to be. I think he had a Friday and a Saturday night show from memory. But it was genuinely, he was the biggest name. And obviously when you get to that stage, you are the gatekeeper because people just want to hand you a CD with their single and have it played on the biggest platform. So clearly the accusation is that he has used his position of power to do some pretty egregious things, like obviously inviting some of these artists to his home, picking them up from stations. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have ever like, let me get through the story before I start asking the sordid questions. Picking up some of these artists from the station, taking them to his house on the way in the car, revealing his manlyhood and requesting some sort of sexual act, going home, going into a bedroom and then appearing naked and leaving it up to the imagination of the young women as to what he wanted to do next. The women who came forward didn't know each other. I think one of them, I don't know how this came about, but I think one of them ended up having a sort of consistent relationship with him over the course of a few years. But he has obviously come out and denied all of these claims, and Twitter was a very, very mad place for him, for Capital, and for everybody who is associated with him, because the message that was pretty consistent throughout is that everybody had seen this in plain sight.
Yeah.
If you'd ever been to a Tim Westwood gig, he probably showed up to your student union party at least
Well, I
a
was
few
gonna
times.
say, so like,
So you probably saw a few things yourself. So the question obviously then became, why have we allowed this monster to grow?
well, no, I was just gonna chip in with the fact that I went to the Leicester SU in 2013.
Shout out.
Yeah, big up Leicester. And Tim Westwood, who was then, must have been in his 50s, was telling 18-year-olds to, quote, and this is a quote, I was there, keep their pussies clean.
Boom! That's the one I was going to say. If you got a clean pussy, make some noise!
Is that on your soundboard?
Crazy.
And I just pulled up an old article about it. He said things like, girl in the front row with the black dress on, I will be fucking you later. She was 18.
I mean,
He would point out to girls and be like, security have told me that you need to wear a sports bra.
exactly.
And he posted a picture of a guy daggering a girl with the caption, smash that homie.
Jesus Christ. Have you ever seen his dagger? It's the maddest, most
I have not.
awkward dagger.
No, I'm quite
The
blessed.
dagger ring.
I've never seen it.
Bruv,
no.
his loins are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And look, he's old enough. I don't expect anything more from him. But bruv, his daggers are awkward. He's just hanging on to the girls for dear life, innit, and letting them control the thing.
Just bleak.
It's awful. And we're obviously not trying to make light of this because this is very, very serious. And it's clear that we need to throw this man in the bin. BBC... I mean, when BBC needs to fucking burn at some point, right? Like we got to throw them in the bin as well.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, just...
it's ridiculous at this point.
I mean,
like,
who wasn't a nonce at the BBC?
literally,
Short list.
And it's a classic case of him being protected. And what's interesting about this one if we remove the BBC element from this a little bit, he moved from BBC. I can't remember why he moved from BBC. I think maybe they just discontinued his show when the likes of Charlie Sloth and all those guys came through. They wanted to
They
modernize
got
it.
a quota for like white guys that speak like that, and it was filled by Charlie Sloth.
But isn't he kind of getting cancelled now, Charlie
He
Sloth?
left. He left. So I don't know what's happening with him since. But maybe there's a storm following him, because I think the timing of his departure was interesting. So you might have something there. But he left. But when Tim Westwood left the BBC, he joined Capital FM. And Capital FM is owned by a company called Global, which is owned by a guy, what's his name? Something Tabor Smith, another Jewish king, might I add.
When in doubt, just throw it out.
And what the second leg of this story was essentially, apparently the CEO of Global, this Tabor Smith guy,
This Jew.
was aware of the claims in 2020 and was accused of suppressing it. So obviously they kind of knew that there was something in the water, but he was accused of making sure that no reports came out regarding Tim Westwood. And obviously this isn't the first time that Tim Westwood has had like a Twitter outrage or some sort of coverage around this. I think there was a time in 2020 where the Daily Mail made a...
Everyone's known this for years,
Yeah, made an
surely.
article about him. And they... Global and Capital FM had to apologize because the Capital Extra Twitter account blocked a bunch of individuals who made those allegations about Tim Westwood.
That's not great, is it?
In the first place. And then they blamed it on an error of judgment by Tim Westwood's team, who they said had been handling the Twitter account on that particular day.
Very good.
So this guy is... I think he's done out here. I think it's finally happened.
Finally, long
It
overdue.
seems like a very cut and dry classic Me Too, like Weinstein,
Literally.
like Louis C.K.
Yeah. Although Louis
He's not been cancelled.
Louis C.K.
Well, no, he's back.
He just won an Emmy.
I don't know. I feel quite strongly about
Grammy.
Louis C. Yeah, he won an...
Won a Grammy,
Was
right?
it a Grammy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
He
was a
made an
Grammy.
album
Yeah,
about
yeah.
like raping someone or some shit, and that.
No, did he?
Yeah, because like it's on the album. It's about his ex-wife or some shit, right?
It wasn't about rape, was it?
Well, there's some rape inference on the album that he won a
Jesus
Grammy for.
Christ.
It's proper sus.
But I think he masturbated in front of somebody, didn't he, Louis C.K.?
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah, a few times. He also like said the N-word, and like even Ricky Gervais was visibly uncomfortable.
No, Ricky Gervais was laughing.
No, he was like
Jerry Seinfeld.
He was
who
like, we
uncomfortable.
don't do it. Jewish king.
No,
can you
it
give
was-
us our?
it
Can you
was
give
Je-
our? Can you give our
But I mean,
people
like,
Louis C.K.
some
said
credit?
it. Chris Rock acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Ricky
No,
Gervais
Ricky
was
like, we
laughing
don't,
at it.
It was like we don't say it.
No, it
That's
wasn't
fine.
Ricky.
I'm not here to. I'm not here to
wasn't
stand
Ricky.
for Ricky. I'm here to stand for
It
Jerry
was Jerry
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Thank you, Jewish king. Can you give us our props, please?
I'm trying to. But you're telling me that Ricky Gervais. No, I was pissed off because Ricky Gervais is one of my heroes, and he was laughing at the usage
he
of
was?
it. It was Jerry who was like, I don't see why you would.
That's right.
So I'm trying to give you your props. Just shut the fuck up. But yeah, look, I'm happy to say that Tim Westwood is done out here. I think he bastardized the culture that I loved very, very much. And
He was ahead of the game, right? He was the
bastardized.
Kardashians before the Kardashians.
He was
right?
good for hip hop in some respects, but he bastardized it and he made us all look like a bit
He
of a
made
dick
profit from it while it counted.
while he was
dick.
abusing black queens. So cheerio, bruv. It's been emotional.
No more Pit My Ride, UK.
Yeah, literally.
That's
That's
the real loss to the culture.
That's a
isn't
loss
it?
to culture.
Yeah.
Pit My Ride UK was maybe the best thing. To
And
come
if you
out of-
open up that Vauxhall Corsa, there's a fridge, and if you look in the corner of that fridge, there's some Horlicks in there, baby.
like grime, whatever, black music, I feel like we've all lost. Pit
When
My
it
Ride
when
UK.
it comes to Pit My Ride, UK.
yeah. I feel like
that lasted like a whole season, right?
I feel
One
like
season.
I feel like you people could have taken one with the team. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
So
I think we should bring it back with Big Nasty. That'd be funny.
That would be fucking
Big
jokes,
Nasty,
bruv.
Big Nasty should be one of the biggest personalities on television
Why
in
is
this
he not?
country. I don't understand why
the
he's
best
not.
laugh in
He is
Britain.
literally the greatest human. Like, he's incredible.
Did we have a Channel 4
did
show?
that, but he had
He
it with
did.
With Mo the
Mo,
comedian,
yeah,
with
yeah.
Mo Gilligan, and Mo's the one who blew up off of it.
Yeah.
Like, and Mo's not really all that
It's
funny.
also time to discuss Mo Gilligan's not funny, bruv. He's not a funny guy.
For another day.
He might be
It's
a
for another
nice
day.
guy, but it's just not funny.
There's too many people that I know who know him. The circle's a bit too close. I need more evidence. I need him to get to that Kevin Hart stage where he's done like 4 or 5 or 6 really bad stand-ups before I'm like, all right, cool, I can't deny this anymore. You know what I mean? It's
objective,
but
man.
right now he's only done 2, so it's like, yeah, that's the homie. That's the friend of the friend.
Still can pull it back.
So let me just, exactly. In more news, of white people
Yes.
doing
Not white people.
mad
What are they
whitey
like?
things.
Bloody gringos.
How do you guys feel about Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox drinking each other's blood?
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna segue from Tim Westwood to another African king.
Elon Musk. My African American king.
Was that on the docket? Do we want to talk about it?
I think it was on the docket, but we can do.
Oh, shit.
We can do other gringos if you want. This is just gringo hunting season this week.
I don't know if there's much to talk about with Twitter and him. I don't know if there's much to talk about. People were like, he's going to try and run for president. He can't. People are like, he is...
I'm sure he can find a way. He also doesn't need to run for president. He can just buy the influence.
But what do you think his political play is here? You're talking about buying influence. What is he trying to influence?
So this is back to...
Let's keep it condensed because
Sure.
this isn't a topic today, but you brought it up, so let's talk about it.
I mean, it's got to be a topic. This goes back to the point that I was making in episode 40 and in almost every single episode that we've ever done on this episode, on this show, that we in the West also live in a one-party system, although we pretend not to, and our party is capital. And so what he's doing is buying access to the single most powerful transmission mechanism of information in the West. Buying newspapers is 20 years out of date, right? The Murdochs are stuck long an asset they can't use. Bezos was a loser. He bought the Washington Post. Not going to work.
What's the end game?
The end game is to carve political discourse as it suits him and Peter Thiel. That's how it works.
For like tax relief?
Either for tax policy, any other kind of social policy that he wants to introduce. Why do rich people own newspapers? Because that's what drives public discourse. Twitter is simply the newspaper forum of the 21st century.
My big thing is why do billionaires tweet? You know, if I had a billion pounds from eating shit or from whatever I'd done, like you would have to like put a gun to my head to get me to go anywhere.
I think Elon Musk, Kanye West, and a couple of all of these guys are some of the worst billionaires we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like they are entirely
Sourceless
too busy.
Well, I mean, how do you want your billionaires to come? Do you want like the sort of faceless heads of multinationals doing shady shit in the background,
Mate.
or do you want them tweeting like nonce jokes on Twitter?
You
have to pick one.
Obviously, I'd rather have a shit poster in chief. But like this guy's like so politically inept that you can't take him seriously as a political actor because his end goal isn't necessarily to seek office. He hasn't bought. People think he's bought Twitter so that he can like one day be the president of the United States. No, that's not why.
Yeah, he can't.
He can't. But why he's bought it is so that him and the people that he's bought Twitter with, right, which is more like a meaningful conversation than Elon just being a figure face of it. The people that he's bought Twitter with can control public discourse.
Yeah,
and
but
that's what's
when you
insidious.
try
Maybe he just really wants an edit button. Have we considered this? Like he really wants. Like if it's just
so
genuinely
Twitter still
serious.
doesn't have edit.
No,
No.
they never will. I mean, they never will.
But you should have edit, but just have the audit trail.
No, just delete your tweet and retweet. We've all been there.
No, I don't like that.
Well, you're not even on Twitter. So
I
who
don't
gives a
like
shit?
that. I don't like that. You should have an edit button.
No, you should.
And then you should, for Twitter, not for anything else, you should be able to see what the edits were.
Just delete and retweet. We've all been there. It's happened to the best of us.
Well, so it's not up to you anymore.
not
Daddy Elon's bought it.
Yeah,
so.
no, I'm still not bought into your theory. I don't understand why. And maybe it's because it doesn't really, I can't really...
Because he can make money out of it. He can make money out of it. That's why.
I think
he can
money,
make shit tons of
but
cash out of it.
that's kind of why I can't really make sense of it in my mind because it sounds absurd to say, but he doesn't seem like... Obviously, he's a shit billionaire in my opinion,
Yeah.
but like he doesn't seem to be completely obsessed with money.
So this is kind of...
Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like he is...
So there's
There's also much smarter investments if you cared more about money.
Exactly.
So this is like where there's like a reasonably well thought out theory among like finance Twitter that he's actually not going to buy the thing. So the way that the deal's structured is that he only has to put up something like $20 billion of the capital, and he has to find the other half of the capital of the $44 billion in order to proceed with the transaction. In material reality, what he's done is bought $1 billion option to buy Twitter. Mm-hmm. What that means is that if he doesn't go through the transaction, he owes Twitter £1 billion. Mm-hmm. Now, Elon Musk is only worth about $2.2 billion in cash.
Brokey.
The rest he would have to raise through external financing or selling his own assets. What the conventional wisdom on finance Twitter is that this is a very well thought out guise for him to be able to dump stock in other companies for him to raise capital and pay $1 billion fine to Twitter for the insurance coverage. So Tesla shares, for example, have been taking an absolute tanking.
Yep. Because they're worried that he's gonna.
Because people have cottoned onto the idea that he's just going to be dumping his own shares to raise
Correct.
cash for this thing, right? I'm sure SpaceX isn't public, so we're not part of these conversations. It wouldn't surprise me if he's looking to divest. But as a billionaire looking to raise capital for future opportunities ahead of the next recession, it would make sense that he buys $1 billion option to raise $6 to $7 to $8 billion to finance other shit. So is he going to buy this thing? There's plenty of very intelligent people who think that he's not going to buy this thing. But what has got me this week is like all the fucking weirdo libs who are like, Elon Musk doesn't really believe in freedom of speech. I can't be on Twitter. I'm not going to be on Twitter if Elon Musk owns Twitter.
To be fair, it was pretty good that Jamila Jamil fucked off Twitter.
Firstly, she's very lame.
gone.
Yeah, she was like, if Elon buys it, I'm done.
So like that was a loss for the culture because she's lame.
so gonna be back.
She's so going to be back.
But she's lame, then just like look her up on Instagram. Like, you don't need to hear what she thinks.
That's
She's
true.
dead.
That's true. But like,
I have such a love-hate relationship with her.
What got me was like, firstly, like all these people were fine with like the Saudis being the largest private owner of Twitter before. Like they're actually very pro-speech. Elon Musk is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
But also like
Yeah.
all the people who've said like I'm not going to Twitter are the most online people of anyone. Like it's all the people who incessantly and are
usually the people who
addictively on Twitter daily are like I'm not going to use this thing anymore.
Exactly.
As if anyone believes them.
They go on breaks like every 5 seconds.
They have nothing else to live for.
I do think that an unintended consequence of Elon Musk buying Twitter, if he lets Donnie Trump back on Twitter,
It's the one thing I hope for.
I actually think
it's the one thing I
could
hope
be
for.
fucking scenes.
Bro,
Because
it's
he is
the-
the single greatest poster.
It's the one thing I hope for.
Of human history.
Thank you. Did I not say when he banned him, I was like, this is the worst day in Twitter history.
That just
we need him
absolutely
back.
fucking phenomenal god tier poster.
We need Daddy back
You know-
immediately.
You know, I'm never going to be on board with this.
We need Daddy
I'm
back
not even on
immediately.
Twitter, and I can feel how peaceful it's been on these streets since he got banned.
He's the greatest content creator of all time.
Is it because you read his tweets in his voice?
Yeah, and they're so fucking
They're
funny.
so jokes. They're so jokes. And ultimately, the thing that Donald Trump and I both agree on is there is nothing funnier than winding up libs.
Yeah.
They are just the easiest people to wind
They
up.
are, and that's a problem within the group. But also just stop trolling people.
No, I'm pro-trolling.
Nah.
I'm pro-trolling.
Nah.
I'm so pro-trolling.
Until the troll smacks in your mouth.
Well, this is why I fuck with people online, not in real life.
No. But the shit you do online will catch up with you, buddy.
Not with me, puppy.
All right, so can we get back to white people moving weird and why you guys are drinking each other's bloods?
Well,
Very
firstly,
quickly.
we're not gringos.
Stop saying that.
You need to...
We don't have to do the Jews are people of colour debate now, but
You have heard of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
There you go. I mean,
Meant to be
everyone's
the
got.
same
Should we go back to
side.
everyone's got a price? How
Yeah.
much? So Megan Fox's blood. No, let's make it more interesting.
free.
You're drinking Machine Gun Kelly's blood.
That's a high price.
Your price is, I reckon, you would do it for
how much? No. I
How much
need a
blood?
quantity. Like
Yeah.
a
Okay.
shot. I'd do
a
it for
shot.
a tenner.
A shot.
Tenner.
Tenner?
Tenner.
I mean, obviously, I would want more, but I would. It's like a shot of blood.
But I
It's not-
would do it.
I'd want more, but I'd do it for a tenner.
Yeah, but like ultimately, like if you did a shot of tequila, that's probably gonna burn more than someone's fucking blood, right? It's a shot. You can do a shot of anything.
You don't know what's in that blood. buddy.
You have got... Machine
That's
Gun Kelly's very
fucking wild.
sus geezer.
I'm just saying, like a shot. Like if you're talking about a pint, it's a different conversation. A shot, I could probably do pretty
for a
much any
tenner.
fluid.
We gotta make it worth it, mate.
No. Don't get me wrong. If it was a negotiation situation, I would be looking for at least 10 grand.
Wow.
But you've just given it the price.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hypothetical situation.
Absolutely do not release this episode.
25k, you drink a shot of his blood.
It's a shot,
No, I
man.
want more.
If you've ever
want
done a
more.
shot of like Glenn's,
50
you're putting more shit into your body.
Then no, all right. If it was like a normal citizen,
57K.
I'd agree. Who the fuck knows what Machine Gun Kelly's done in his life? He looks like a weird dude. He
Yeah.
pivoted from country
Quite
music
smacked
to
up.
rap.
Yeah.
Definitely smacked up. He was stupid enough to start a rap battle with Eminem. Do you know
He
how
won
much
that.
drugs you have to be on to try that?
He kind of won that.
I don't think he did.
I think he kind of won that.
don't think
I'm
he
not gonna
did.
lie. Eminem kind of just came in with the and it just didn't.
Eminem's so fucking rich.
He's
he
so
doesn't have to
frantic.
reply.
Like what? We need to talk about how fucking he fell off, bro.
Yeah, your people
When
need
I
to
listen to
answer.
Eminem, I get like genuine anxiety. Like he used to
Yeah.
be like that guy who just used to rap quite casually when I was just a little baby boy. My mama used to tell me these, and
Well,
I
the
was like,
Infinite album is, like, super chill. Yeah.
and it's just like, calm down, please. I don't know who you're shouting at.
Yeah, I think it's Lil Kim.
But I think Machine Gun Kelly won that battle. So 57k to drink his blood.
For a shot,
Yeah.
I want 100 bag.
Nah, you do it for 70k.
I do.
Cash in
I
that.
100% I do have 70k.
All right, cool. Everyone's
Cash.
got a press.
Sterling,
Everyone's
though.
got a press. I think Megan Fox were all in agreement. We'd just do that shit
Free.
for free, just
Free.
just for lols,
I'd pay.
right?
Just for a chance to see her.
I'd pay
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'd pay the 70 grand from drinking Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, just a direct transaction.
100%
yeah.
done. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm gonna move on to relationship advice.
Ooh. Spicy.
I like this one. I really like this one. By the way, did you guys watch The Ultimatum on Netflix?
No, but I did watch the trailer a lot of times, and it just looked.
It's the
very
most
anxiety.
toxic show of all
So
time.
it's from
Very
the same.
anxiety
It's from like
inducing.
Nick and Vanessa Lachey, the same people who brought us Love
Yeah.
Is
Love Is
Blind.
Blind.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like,
So toxic.
watching these idiotic like 24, 25-year-olds giving each other ultimatums because they've been together for 2 years and they don't know where
Yeah,
the
yeah,
relationship
yeah.
is going is
I texted
mad.
at least 4 exes after I saw the trailer. It's very effective for me.
But yeah, watch it. It's not amazing, but it's just wow. Anyway, relationship advice. It's coming from a woman, and I like the way she wrote
Women
this.
listen to this, do they?
Mate, if you see our stats,
A
if
majority.
you see our stats,
Majority.
and they said the men shouldn't have podcasts. Well, why are you all
Yes.
listening to us then, eh? Because we're not dickheads. What? Because
Basically,
we're not one of them male dickhead
Shout out Fresh
podcasts.
and
That's
Fit,
why.
innit?
Yeah, exactly.
Wasteman.
What does it mean when your boyfriend of a long time, nearly 3 years, gets a little bit lazy on his Instagram and the Discover page starts telling me who he is sexually attracted to?
Oh.
For context,
Is this a Guess the Race episode or?
I didn't say, I said she's a woman, but you can guess the race after. No, she gives it away in the next line.
Okay.
So,
White.
for context, I'm fairly tall, 5'7"-ish, white.
Yeah.
Why is that funny? Brown hair. I would say happy with my shape and overall package.
Okay.
Cute tits and a pert bum.
Oh,
I love her energy.
I love the confidence.
And I know how IG algos work. I oversaw my boyfriend's Discover page. That old chestnut.
That
I
old
oversaw.
chestnut.
Yeah, I oversaw it when,
Like my
winds
phone was in his
blew me
hand
down.
when he was
Yeah.
asleep and it was in front of his face and it
Yeah.
unlocked itself.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
god, nightmare.
And it was awash with girls of the old school video girl type of profile. All those pages with girls doing the most on Instagram to try and entice
Define
you
old school
to
video
their
girl.
OnlyFans pages.
Don't know what you mean.
No idea.
No idea.
I mean, yeah, you do.
Me?
Like hip hop videos, like
Oh.
Oh, sure. Yeah, maybe I watched them on VH1 back in the day.
yeah,
once
no,
upon
you
a time.
did. You watching like
MTV
Beck
Bass.
videos on VH1.
No,
yeah.
I actually, one of my earliest sexual awakening memories is a Pitbull video.
So
was
informative.
that
of what came
was that
after.
pre-white suits or post white
Was
suits?
the intro
I just
white
don't
suit
really
era.
I don't really remember what he was wearing, but there was like an absolute yachty and like a Brazil football shirt.
Yes. Yes.
So, as I said, saw my boyfriend's Discover page, and it was awash with girls from the old school hip hop videos or the type of girls on Instagram we see today who are doing the most with their bodies to entice you to their OnlyFans pages, etc., etc. We all know the ones.
Hypothetically speaking, yeah.
in theory.
And then she goes on to say, you know the type, almost exaggerated body parts. I remind you, I'm slim thick when I'm less disciplined. B cup, super cute. Short women, as I said, I'm tall. Tanned women, and this made me laugh. I'm UK pasty, but I try my hardest. Excess eyelashes. I have regulation eyelashes. And exuberant fashion choices. And then she says, my upper floor is House of CB dresses when I want to get Essex nasty.
Wow.
Clearly, this isn't something to break up over. Or is it, though? Does this brother actually like me? Or am I a placeholder for his actual type? Ooh. I'm cringing at the thought of bringing this up as I kind of don't want to hear the truth. Help.
Oh, that is
It's
me.
one of those ones where like it feels harsh saying it, but is it in fact that deep? I think no. I think genuinely, I think sometimes people and you know both sexes do this. Is that if there are insecurities that you're aware of in yourself, and you see your partner exhibiting behaviors that seem to contradict that or play on those insecurities, you're gonna think it's worse than it is, right? And I think in this specific, you know, obviously got a lot of time for problematic men, but I think in this specific example, I don't necessarily know if like the liking on Instagram thing actually means anything.
I don't even think he's liking. I just
It's just
think he's
discovery.
got that discovery
Well,
page.
presumably,
And
if
know
he's
what
on
the
discovery,
he's been searching. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been-
searching means you've been liking in the
Oh,
past.
yeah,
or
true.
whatever.
Yeah, true. You've been clicking a few things.
And I think, not to put it all on her, but I think like it could be a projection of like some of the things you feel that you're then taking out on someone who's doing something
Sounds like you're
fairly asinine.
Sounds like you're calling her ugly, Josh. She sounds kind of peng to me, to be honest.
I would never. I respect women, so
Look, this is a solutions-based podcast, specifically a
Entirely chat.
solutions-based segment.
Baby.
I think if baby girl is worried that she's slim thick and not thick enough,
Wait.
yet is DMing us,
oh no.
yet is DMing us off her iPhone, she clearly has the financial capacity to afford a gym membership.
Wow.
Wow. That's real women blaming.
Wow.
Shit that.
Not only does she have the capacity
Man
to
comes
afford,
back from spiritual Brazil with the perfect body types, and he's like, fucking.
not only can she afford a gym membership, she probably got the pockets for a couple tan sessions
Wow.
under the bed.
So your response to I'm worried that my boyfriend likes
Thick,
a
light
different
skins.
type of
I'm a
attractive.
skinny white girl
Is
from Essex.
change yourself.
It's change yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Adapt to survive. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not Charles Darwin. You gotta get with the times, baby. This is what it is. Or let's pretend to be mature. Maybe he loves you for what's inside, and these Instagram thoughts cannot provide the warm love.
Well, no, I mean, I just think it's a very different thing. I think, like, if your relationship is otherwise okay, don't allow it off because man has a hobby on Instagram.
Look, I think the other take for me is before like you guys provide a mature commentary is I think you should actually consider yourself lucky. I think you should consider yourself lucky that he's only able to search for quote video girls, and be very thankful that the Russian thought economy has been destroyed by this war in Ukraine.
I don't know if that's true, though, by the way. I don't know how, but I've seen a couple.
They find a
Russian,
way.
Yeah, yeah.
my
I've
my
seen a
Russian
couple
thought
accounts.
content has gone off a cliff in the last few weeks. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and I'm actually quite upset. I'm almost pro Putin, but
What's going down? Westwood Radio 1.
the soundboard's so wild.
Yeah.
Listen, I think you're overthinking it. And
Why are you not taking concern seriously?
I am taking a concern seriously, but I will say is as I'm gonna be vulnerable here, as someone who has had their phone unlocked in the middle of the night. Firstly, don't do that because it doesn't lead to good things.
Was that like keypad code days, or did she? Did she hold the phone over your face and get the Face ID?
No, this was pre-Face ID times.
Alright, cool,
this
cool.
was a code untap.
Shit.
And it just leads to unnecessary problems that, without context,
Yeah, if you're cheating.
I obviously wasn't cheating. Don't try that.
Biting.
Just leads to problems. So don't unlock your partner's phone. However, like there's a
I had
difference.
that happen to me once, and that wasn't even in like the era of like I don't even know if it was. I don't even think I had an iPhone at that point.
It's mad. It's like you
Yeah.
just end up drawing mad conclusions.
Bro,
at 2
getting
o'clock in the
woken
morning
up at
whilst
6
trying to
o'clock in the
sleep.
morning
It's
because you
long,
got
bro.
like text from some chick from work who likes you and just doesn't know how to say no. But as you say, your missus thinks you've cheated.
It's nothing. Oh, it's long. It's so long. Anyway, firstly, don't unlock his phone in the middle of the night. You're only going to create your own problems. Secondly, like there's a difference between like him looking at women who are aesthetically pleasing and being in love with you. Like he might be in love with you. You've been together 3 years. He clearly likes you. Like if we're going to be consistent, he's not going to ban you from looking at pictures of good-looking blokes. We can revisit Rich's list of men he'd like to look like. Like if you are willing to never look at a picture of those men again, sure, let's have a reason to debate. But him looking at other women does not mean that he doesn't like you.
Sure.
Just be more confident. And confront him if you want. Say, listen, do you have a type? Like, if you're really into him, is it worth you getting tans in gyms? It might be. These things are available to you. But I think you're overthinking this
We're
one.
not encouraging BBLs on this podcast, Johnny.
No, we're not. We're al natural here.
Not.
No.
Oh, okay. Never coming back.
No, there are natural receipts. There are
This
natural,
might be one of your
solutions.
more mature responses to relationship advice.
Yeah. I'm a changed man since Brazil. I've become spiritualized.
I think
I've seen real ass.
I think she should go hammer time in her own respect.
Okay, say more.
Or go smash out some likes.
She needs to smash the shit out of her algo
Yeah.
That's fucking right.
with a bunch of men who have all of the qualities that
he doesn't have.
the incumbent does not have.
Yeah.
Toxic mummy, let's go.
And then leave her Discover page open by
Just
the
there,
side by the
just
side
hanging out.
table.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
See how he takes that.
Yeah. Fight fire with fire.
Amen.
Yeah. That'll end well.
But what if her
Sometimes you got to play these types of games in relationships.
What if
you know,
her-
they're like, oh, you're only as able to cheat as your options. Look, man, I'm gonna let you know.
got options?
I got options,
Yeah.
papi.
But what if her type is him? Then it's even more pathetic.
Just rattle him.
Okay.
Rattle him.
Pretend, yeah.
Just make your algo just do all kinds of Pete Davidson nonsense.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Really
yeah.
get in his
If
head.
he doesn't have tattoos, find a guy with tattoos.
Literally. Opposite of everything.
If he's a short king, tall guy,
Bang.
you know. If he's a gringo, you know.
Latino.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I think she should play fire with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I back that actually. I back that. I think she should actually she should start telling him what kind of man she's into. Fuck the Instagram thing. Just go face to face. Don't keep
So
beef
like, they're
online.
just like watching TV and
Yeah,
she's just
yeah.
like drooling over
just
Damson
like,
Idris or something.
just start watching Top Boy and be like, they're all leng. They're all leng. Even though he's
Where's
short.
my Lauren Duchesne?
Even yeah. What's my man's name? What's the Scouser's name?
What's his name?
Cyrus.
Mate, it's not Cyrus. I like that name. Shout out Cyrus from work.
Shout out Cyrus from work.
What's his name again? But bro, he's terrifying.
He's fucking weird. Isn't
terrifying. Such a good
he?
actor.
Like, but even you should be like, even I'd rather fuck him than you. Just get aggressive on the
He
thing.
kidnapped bitches and
I'd still
mentally
ra-
tortures them.
I'd still rather sit on his face
and I would,
than yours. Meaty little you. on
yeah,
the
fight
Discovery
fire
page.
with fire. You got this, honey.
Yeah, baby, you got this. Don't worry about
Keep your submissions coming in. And on the subject of relationship advice, Johnny mentioned him earlier, but rest in peace to man like Kevin Samuels, relationship advice, image consultant,
Problematic
guru,
king.
problematic king, who passed away unexpectedly at 56 years old after being found unresponsive in his home, a suspected cardiac arrest. Don't really need to tell you what then happened on Twitter. He's clearly
it.
not
Got
the
dragged
most
to shit.
popular person. He's popular to many, but he's
Popular to a
polarizing.
very
let's just
select
say
section of
Let's just
incels.
say he's polarizing. No, I don't agree with incels. I think incels are a completely different bag. I actually think that there's quite a bit of value in some of the things he said. I just think his delivery, as ever,
Very little value.
his
in
delivery
most
was
of what he
fucked
says.
a lot of the time. But irrespective, I've always known not to speak ill of the dead. But apparently those rules don't apply to that little platform that you guys frequent in very regularly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He's maybe second to Margaret Thatcher in like post-mortem dragging.
What? Wait, what? How do you know what they were saying about like Margaret Thatcher after
Oh.
she died at the time?
Oh yeah, no, like me and
Well,
mum.
no, there was a big day on Twitter when she died.
It was huge. Me and mum.
When
popped-
did she, Margaret? When did she die? Again?
2013.
Yeah, me and mum
Oh,
popped. a
Twitter
bottle.
was around then.
Me and mum.
Yeah.
Shit,
Me and mum popped a bottle of champagne. Still.
you actually did.
Yeah, fucking yeah.
I feel you.
Fuck
Shout out,
that
auntie.
bitch. Yeah, yeah. Mummy was delighted. I didn't even know we had champagne in the house. I think she dusted the bottle off for me.
This is for special occasions.
this we were waiting for this one.
Yeah, no, it's sad to see, right? I don't think his crimes, so to speak, have matched the punishment, so to speak, on Twitter. And I think if you don't have nice things to say about people who, you know, ultimately gave people a platform that they voluntarily came into, often paid him for his opinions. He did his thing. He did his job. Was the delivery always good? Absolutely not. Was
Which
it?
is similar to like if someone like Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan died, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's speech
Oh,
that's
that's a
not
false
illegal,
equivalence.
Yeah.
but it's just that a lot of people don't like it.
And
right?
this is the problem. Like, we need to have a space for opinions that people don't like, right? As you said, Johnny, it's very, very easy to troll liberals, and I think Kevin Samuels was an example of that. I'm not justifying, and I don't want to like be on the fence at all. I think I agreed with a lot of what he said.
Oh my god. I disagree
But I
with
also
the vast
disagreed.
majority.
I also disagreed with many things that he said. Again, it comes back to the delivery. I'm a person who believes that you can say most things if you deliver them in the right way. And I think his delivery sometimes, especially for the entertainment aspect of it, left a lot to be desired.
Dude's a loser.
but-
Dude's a loser. He's a black Jordan Peterson.
Nah,
Fuck them both.
No. I'm not going to go that far. But I just.
Oh, he's dead now, so
I
like,
will
yeah,
say
whatever,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to his family,
I will say
whatever.
R.I.P.
Built a late life career pretending to coach men about relationship advice and then died alone in a flat with no one to help him.
No, I don't like that. You shouldn't say that.
Well, why
That's
not?
wrong.
Why not?
Because one hasn't got anything to do with the other.
Well, the guy essentially
You get cholesterol. You can't really. Once you get that shit, you
I
can't
had nothing to do with his
reverse it.
capacity to not be alone. Right? If he was a nice person, he might not have
Yeah,
died
no, but
alone.
there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you're telling women they're fat and then you died of cholesterol."
Didn't say that. Didn't make that
I
point.
know you didn't make that point, but it's along the lines. It's not about nothing that he did in his life has anything to do with how he died.
I think it's
so
deep irony.
the link is
Deep irony in making money out of saying women ain't shit and then dying on your own.
He wasn't. Who's to say he was on his own?
He quite literally died on his own.
Yeah, but because he was at his job. He was at his job.
At his job, he was in his flat.
If your housemate leaves your house to go shopping,
housemate, guy's 56 years old. Why's he got a housemate?
Are you,
Guy lived
are you
alone.
deliberately trying to not to catch my point, or what?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think you are. The point is, he could have had a missus, he could have had a family,
But he didn't.
but you don't know that.
But we do know that because it's come
No,
out in the
no,
press.
you don't know that.
We do know that it's come out.
I mean, this is what happens when he has too much rum in it. I can't deal with it. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels. And stop trolling millionaire, soon-to-be billionaire rappers about their kids on Instagram, because Drake will follow your missus.
Oh,
and then
yes.
and then she'll have a fucking big decision to make.
Toxic Jewish
To
king.
preserve your dignity and honor.
Toxic
Be
Jewish
nice
king.
on socials, because Drake will
absolutely
follow your missus.
And then she's moving mad.
And then she move mad,
She's
posting it up
moving
like,
mad.
hey, champagne poppy.
I hope he runs through it.
Be nice.
I hope he runs through it.
Don't talk about my kid on Instagram. I will follow your missus, and I'm prettier than you and richer.
I fully hope she gives it. I fully hope she gives it to Drake, because guys who've been like tweeting shit on Maine, firstly deserves to be done for tweeting shit on Maine. We all have a burner account for tweeting shit, but just for tweeting shit online generally, you deserve for your wife to have a good weekend away with Drake. Shame.
And Yeri Mina.
Oh boy, I'm not getting involved in this one. This one's a rich.
While I'm here,
it's a rich only topic.
maybe a topic for another day. Given my co-host and our guest are two white men who probably don't know much about cake soap and skin bleaching.
I was about to say coming out paler than Josh.
There's only one thing worse than a black man who wants to lighten his skin from black.
Which is
to lighter than black.
Which is?
It's a man who lightens his skin and not only looks worse, but also just looks fucking ill.
He looks it's giving leukemia.
You look mad. Vibes, cartel, skin, routine, plan.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Papi, you need to stop it. And this is a message to all of my beautiful black people. Your skin is your treasure. Do not bleach the thing.
Amen.
I beg.
Amen.
It's looking fucking crazy. The European standards of beauty have never applied to us. We have our own standard of beauty, and that is the way we will continue in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I love how you guys had nothing to say.
No, I'm not getting
about the
involved.
skin
I've done this podcast 41 episodes. I know to keep my mouth shut.
It's really fucking crazy, guys. It's really crazy. And by the way, it doesn't just happen in black culture, right? Like
Asians do it all the
Asian
time as
culture.
well.
Yeah.
Bro, you drive around Bangkok and there's like 15-story tall billboards on like whitening cream. It's so fucked. Like,
I heard that like Colombians are the most likely of the South Americans to do this shit though.
So-
I didn't know what was behind that. But
so Colombia has the largest population of like black.
yeah.
One would say African-looking population in South America.
Yeah.
Like there are quite a few in the north of Brazil. So there's Salvador de Bahia is a city with a lot of African culture, but like given that Brazilians are kind of seen as different from the Spanish-speaking Latinos, Colombians and specifically the west coast of Colombia has like the largest black population within Latin America. So that makes sense.
All right, bet. And on the subject of new music, 2 albums that you need to listen to. One is from a UK rapper, one of our best. His name is Nux. He's just released an album called Alpha Place, which you all should check out. And Jack Harlow. Do you guys like Jack Harlow?
I really like Jack Harlow's Chicken Shop Days.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't think I know a single Jack Harlow tune.
His album has dropped today. It's called Come Home, The Kids Miss You,
Very
which
good.
for me is one of the top 5 album titles in the last 10 years.
What are the other 4?
Didn't really expect that question.
No.
You know when people just say that and don't expect people to
Yeah, so
challenge
now
it?
you're
You
on
know,
the
we
spot.
just say top 5 in
Please, what are the other 4?
in the last 10 years, I would say
Rattled, visibly
no,
rattled.
No. What Time to Be Alive, Drake and Future.
1.
What Time to Be Alive. I would say I don't have another 3, but thanks for that, Johnny.
Yeah. Can you do your homework next time?
I will. I won't throw away phrases like that just for free.
Yeah.
Around you.
Come
Josh,
correct.
thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
again
you.
Always
today.
a pleasure.
Anything to plug? Anything to?
Absolutely not. Just
Just hit up the Jewish Chronicle.
Just hit up the Jewish Chronicle. Follow me on Twitter.
But
do
specifically the
whatever.
Jewish Chronicle website. The paper's fucking useless.
Follow him on Twitter so Elon does not attack the
Yes.
boutique.
Yeah, first they
He
came
needs
for
them.
the blue ticks, etc., etc. And it always ends with Jews.
Yeah. Anything to add, Johnny, before we wrap up?
Protect the Jew-tick community. I don't know. I stand with my...
Do you say the Jew-tick
Yeah.
community? Wow. Yeah, that's it. Thank you again to everybody who has been streaming this thing. 30,000 streams across all platforms is a big fucking deal.
For a third of Wembley.
Yeah, for
That's
a
kind
small,
of guessed. I actually didn't know that number before you said it.
yeah.
It's pretty
So
sick.
for a small little podcast that's doing
With
bits
no
quietly,
marketing.
with no marketing, we'll get there. And yeah, we love you. Keep spreading the good word. We will be back in a couple of weeks. By the time you listen to this, we'll be halfway through the heat wave, baby. It's
22
mad that
degrees.
we're calling it like a heat wave, and it's going to be like peak, I think, 22.
Like it was no colder than 27 degrees in Rio for the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
And that's a final holiday plug.
Final holiday plug.
Your
Check the
holiday
content.
it looked dead, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. That's the real conversation. Is that
looked-
the holiday actually looked dead.
Did it?
But, you know, guess you had to be there.
Some man don't get culture.
Yeah. Anyway, big up. Nice one.
Peace.
Shalom.